Alrighty then, my gamers. We are about to reach that boiling point that happens every Sunday at 5 p.m. CET, when the promise of weekly show match action is realized. That is right, Bounty Hunters time. We're playing Guilty Gear Strive once again tonight, and the format is the good old first to 7 wins. Matches tonight are crafted with skill-based matchmaking in mind, so that every match is as exciting as possible. I'm your usual host Kyuke, and now, let's see what's in store for tonight, with a couple of extra minutes that we have left before we reach the zenith, something of the sort. Can't think of a good analogy here. So we got decent amount of regulars to start the show with, and then the latter half of our show is going to be populated mostly with new names. So starting with classics such as Spooky, Tibisu, Freygarr, LagBoy, Froyo, Hoplan, but then sort of transitioning into matches where pretty much every single one of the last 3 has a player making their first showing on Bounty Hunters. In the 4th, we have Sean playing that May. The 5th slot is completely populated by new faces. We got Sane Johnny, as well as Crisp Geo. Crisp, by the way, from East Coast as well, so we're gonna have some international representation, I guess, tonight, if we consider ourselves a European event. And then the last slot is gonna have Zulck Ramlethal showing up for the first time. Decent amount of bangers for sure. Namely, well, the last slot, of course, OLC versus Zulck, Mox versus Sean, pretty high level match. We got Froyo, Hoplan, definitive bangers, all of those. But also, some matches are maybe a little cozier, such as what we have first on the roster. Let's hop into the cards. So Spooky, for the first time in a while, actually character locking himself. That is huge. It's been a while. I can't even remember what the character was that Spooky was previously playing when he was not playing random. But it is going to be one of the Nightless tonight. Nago versus Venom. Of course, Venom is going to be piloted by none other than Tibisu. First, a Sin player, nowadays more of a Venom player. In a match that definitely has sort of the roles or the archetypes contradicting. Contradicting? Is that the right way to put it? Contrasting one another. I think that's the way we want it to say. So give me a moment. I'll get both Spooky and Tibisu online. I think we already have one of them. Oh, never mind. Both players raring and ready to go. So Venom might be one of those characters who can potentially control Nagoriyuki once you manage to get them on high blood. So I think the classic versus Nagoriyuki game plan is gonna be set in motion. Try to be as safe as possible at the earlier stages of the round. Try to maybe draw out blood from Nagoriyuki if possible. It can be hard sometimes. Those special moves are very good at engaging the opponent and very hard to avoid as well. But at least Beyblade is no longer a low, which has been one of the sort of banes of people who love to play ground-based footsies. And ground-based footsies definitely are gonna be played tonight, as well as Venom is one of those characters who definitely loves to play on the ground, loves to play everywhere as long as you have your balls. set up and ready to go, but before you can sort of get a hard knockdown and get that set play going, you probably have to win the ground horizontal game plan first. Started with just one calculated comp 2P into a tick throw. And switching sides, putting Spooky in the corner. One ball can quickly turn into multiple threats, even if you have a ball like relatively far away as Venom. If it's on a trajectory of especially this move, Stinger, you can create a sort of like a cascade of incoming projectiles very fast. And depending, oh, is this looks a little janky on the connection front. Hopefully it is playable. It is a fairly long-range connection. We'll have to see what the players are thinking about this one. Tibisu disconnected. Ooh, unfortunate. Well, I guess better at the early stage than at the later one. Controller issues. But yeah, it looks like Tibisu has some sort of controller trouble, so we're gonna hop out of this one and try again after these ads. The ad was Nagoriyuki showing off his magnificently damaging sword, especially when guided with the heavy buttons. Yeah, gonna hop off back to the lobby and see if we can get this started with a little bit more of an even footing. Let's put it like that. Can I actually exit this? Okay, there we go. Can't wait to get more of these ads. Hell yeah. But yeah, we're gonna start from 0-0 situation. Practicing fair play, good sportsmanship, all that. And I think we should be good to go now. Okay. New try, Tibisu Venom, Spooky Nagoriyuki. Let's let it rip.
Mankind knew that they cannot. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, starting with the normal jump. That time, I remember Tibisu is pretty good at the anti-air timings, as you should be on a character like this who loves to limit the mobility, loves to zone, loves to control the flow of the battle. If the opponent can easily jump in on you and sort of ignore the majority of your power. Ooh, this Hukyo is gonna go straight into Dark Angel. Even though Spooky was able to block it, you do give up like almost all of your real estate with that, ending in plus frames. And then, is the charge gonna be enough? Yes, indeed. Q5. I forgot if Q5's damage actually ramps up if you charge it. I think the damage does, but the frame advantage stays the same, which is a little strange if you're a Legacy Kill the Gear player, because Q5 used to get its frame data quite improved depending on how long you would charge it. We are entering this zoning minefield. Oh, it's especially tough if you have a lot of blood already used. Oh, I say that, but we had just a strategic amount left, I think, and the RSA makes sure that Spooky sees the incoming burst. Now, burst off the wall. Ooh, big damage. Tibisu does have 100 ready to go. Can we get a low profile button? Yes, indeed. Amen. Under that too heavy. Straight into Dark Angel. Jumping the opponent off the ground, and again, all the real estate is gone just like that. With the meager cost of 50 meter, you too can change the situation of your destiny. Don't like the left corner, go into the right one. There is a little bit of RPS to be had there when you set the Dark Angel in motion, because the opponent could jump. Oh, but hold that thought. We'll get a counter hit. Beyblade drops the combo, but maybe thinking about the burst there, potentially. Good on Tibisu holding on to that. Oh, the 2S! Reaching far enough. And especially with high blood. A little bit of extra startup speed as well on that. Here we go. Are you gonna jump, or are you just gonna take it? Very late jump and gets pulled back into the Dark Angel. That's going to be a wall break as well. Even better, because now you got positive bonus and you can, with the frame advantage you have from the heart knockdown, can still push the opponent in the corner. Look at the 5D there. 20 frame reaction check. Seals the deal. I think Spooky was almost about to pop as well. I forgot to... kind of blinked and I missed it. I think there was some sort of special move used there in the middle of the block string. It's kind of tough as well, because like in Guilty Gear Strive, you can't IB projectiles in the air, right? Which would, in the older games, give back your air options. So the sea of pool balls is even more tricky when you know, have a critical mass of them coming at you. But on the other hand, it's maybe a little bit harder for Venom to sort of maintain the motion. It's more like a burst of different kinds of ball formation. I'm gonna get a disconnection very early. I guess it's common for this to happen when the connection is, you know, one of those far away ones. See if the players do notice my message. As a TO, I am truly dreaming of a fighting game that had working lobbies. Okay, I think we got the attention of the players, so we're gonna stand back out of this one as well. Rocky start, but hey, it can't be worse. It can't be worse. The way is upwards from here on out. Definitely every single match after this is gonna be clean and simple. And without any interruptions as well. It's probably like one of my top picks of my wish list in 2.0. If they finally manage to sort of clean up the code so that they can actually make changes that a lot of us, especially the TO front, has been wanting for such a long time. But I mean, it affects players as well. It's never fun when you get all sorts of really strange glitches, like being unable to connect to your opponent unless you go to a different game mode and stuff of that sort. But Tibisu, very strong start so far, 2-0, and making it look exactly how you would think when you think about like a burly big body that hits extremely hard but has some amount of difficulties closing in on the character that has a little bit more control of the neutral game. And in that sort of way, because of how good control Venom exerts at the neutral horizontal grounded game, you can kind of think of Nagoriyuki as a, you know, the namesake one-shot character. You shoot your shot maybe once, maybe twice, and then you're starting to inch very close to that threshold where you can't necessarily use your moving tools or movement tools anymore, as most of the mobility for this character Nagoriyuki is tied to his special moves. The burst spot is here. We are spending the Fukyo into Beyblade, but Tibisu, being the one who goes for the burst second, has a say. Now the situation unfolds and we are back to the neutral. Not even the Beyblade is gonna reach from that point. It's not necessarily like not having tools that can reach, but getting to the point where you can actually use the tool. And again, look at this. It requires a Fukyo. If Spook was a little bit closer and was able to play that Beyblade from better frame advantage, not having to resort to that Kukyo. You could maybe get there before the summon goes online or the stinger goes online, but yeah, being able to simply walk forward or maybe jump forward if you don't use your special mode. Oh, that's a nice interruption there. Into spending a lot of juice here. The urgency definitely knocking back on Spooky's mind. There has been so few opportunities. Oh, wait, there was a blood pop there. That's an interesting situation. Definitely never seen that one before. So the blood pop was about to happen. Dark Angel goes down, blood pop happens, then you still land into that Dark Angel because it stays on the screen for so long. And not just the like initial projectile itself. Robokai will come afterwards if you basically take any hits from that super and break the wall for you. I got with a far slash, and before the balls can be set, Kukyo into Beyblade. However, the meaty situation. A little late there on the punish. Those heavy buttons, if they do whiff completely, especially that too heavy, is quite punishable, making sure that there is no funny business here. Drifting backwards, getting a punish on the blood pop. A very comfy round once again for Tibisu. Alright, with the first knockdown, what can we do? Go low this time. Could break the wall, and indeed will do so. Spooky's still in a decent position since you haven't spent too much of your blood. Now let's hope that those back throws are not gonna bite Spooky in the ass any longer. Oh, I think this might whiff punish the far slash. No, actually disjointed enough, however, still forced to block it. Big counter hit from the 2D. Doesn't quite get the combo. Still a chance. Like we said, low blood. You have all of your options open and your life fully ahead of you. Far slash not quite confirmed into anything. Oh, interesting. So the and pushes through the projectile. Can't quite pick up the counter hit. And Tibisu again, merciless. Spooky getting these hits here and there, but it's been really hard to get the engine started completely so far. Started with comfy jabs, both players whiffing, and then into the neutraling, presenting the ever-present problem. How are you gonna deal with this zoning right here? Again, so close, but not quite there. Tibisu has been keeping it relatively tight. Those the Beyblades are like just like a couple of inches away from the mark a lot of the time. We jump over the clone as well. And the blood pop. Giving Tibisu just a projectile, but ends up being enough in this situation. Big counter hit. This will actually convert pretty decently, unless missing the combo, but it's okay. The most important part for Venom is the control. And take the positive bonus here. Once again, blood is open, but what can we do with it? Just to go for a Fukyo, but the ball is already in motion. It's so hard to get stuff out. Spending both White Wild Assaults, but they are slightly too far away. The ever so common problem. YRC is used here, get me out. And with a classic instant air dash out of the corner. Is this gonna be enough? This should be a wall break. Into super? Yes, indeed. Another W for Tibisu. Absolutely textbook perfect play so far. Making sure that Nagoriyuki is always positioned just too far enough away so that you don't have to take huge risks. It's been same with both like Kukyo Beyblade as well as Wild Assault. It's like Wild Assault requires maybe even more of a close range than some of Nago's other tools. Yep, once again, the stinger is there. Alright, the counter blood pop. Tibisu goes for a burst as well. Now you only need a couple more balls. There it is, stinger. The ever-present stinger. Definitely the MVP tool, one of the best tools that you have on Venom in this game. Right, doesn't quite manage to get enough frame advantage from the air dash. The 2P mash gets Tibisu out of the corner. Some options available. Skips to the other side as well. However, the 2K 2D from Spooky. Now's a chance. If we could just get over this Dark Angel, the Fukyo forward, unfortunately, already locked in. Cannot overcome the huge dark projectile. Alright, from a back throw, what can we get? It's a decent clean hit, goes for a throw. However, wait, why wasn't Tibisu throwable there? That seemed like a very delayed kind of a throw. Huh. Ooh, sees the opportunity there. As soon as Tibisu ended up whiffing something, went for the interception, but keeping up the pressure has been very difficult. Deflection actually offers just enough pushback to get into a perfect punish. -2, what are we gonna do with it? Sending the Q5 on the Venom side, and 100 meter ready to be spent. Here's the first bar. Tick throw. We can go for another Dark Angel. And it indeed manifests. Nothing to do but the whole block here, I guess. Is it gonna be lows? Is it gonna be highs? Maybe a tick throw. Tibisu has been pretty good with those. 6-0. The French crowd has an overwhelming advantage here. Ooh, that's a good one. Big counter hit. Even just a 1-2 from that DP and its follow-up, delivering around 1/3 of the opponent's life bar. Finding hit once again with it, however, sliding a little bit too close. The timing not quite there. Is the punishable? Yes, indeed, and we get a close slash as well. Goes for RC bait. However, Tibisu is like, nah, we're chilling. We can check that burst bait and then go from there. Would be actually really big if Tibisu manages to steal it from this point. +10. 2D does reach, but nothing more substantial. Goes for a low 2D. That's a big read. But it does make sense because Spooky has been going for those deflect shields in defensive situations very often so far. Set point Tibisu, break the wall. Very close to that Dark Angel again. Probably have to deal with it in just a couple of moments. Unless! Once again, a fighting chance, minus frames from the wild assault. This will hit and could potentially break the wall, unless it's a, what do we call it, unclean hit? Sour spot? I think that's what the Naga players usually call it. One has been used, but does miss. Gets us jab in there. Okay, that works as an anti-air. And there we go. We've been hunting for that burst for such a long time. Finally able to get it. Skip to the other side, and we get an autocorrect. Taking down Tibisu with that 100 meter that Venom player would have much liked to use for a couple of those juicy little projectiles. Alright, good Abaratu S into 2 heavy. Slightly more rare string, but we work with what we can. Deflect shield, once again, pretty good. Lands the 2S. Combo miss into a back throw. Can Tibisu get out of the corner? Air to air doesn't quite work out. Spooky might have been trying to reach for the air throw. What a cross up! However, no pickup here. Couple more projectiles away. Tibisu can already smell it, can taste it, and then send the ball in motion. 7-0. Tibisu playing it perfectly this time around. Not letting the power character get started any turn of the match. Beautiful. Okay. Is this a tough matchup for Nagoriyuki? I mean, it was even when the blood was available, it was extremely difficult to get anything started. So it's usually the difficulties for Nagoriyuki start at high blood when you're facing these zoning characters. But it was from the start to the end, troubling interactions all the way through. We have a relatively same kind of vibe going in the second matchup slot here. when Freygarr with the ABBA takes on LagBoy's Johnny. So ABBA has the sort of the same problem as Nagoriyuki, but in reverse. You do start with, or I guess it's like relatively similar kind of conundrum, but once you do go pop, if you expend all of that jealousy rage gauge that makes you go extra zoomies, you're generally put in a really tough spot because you do have to interact with your opponent to have that unique resource come back. And interacting with the opponent is really tough when, like, you don't really have the, like, you sort of have the reach. You do have some really far-reaching buttons such as 5 heavy, but compared to characters like Nagoriyuki, it's really difficult to do a lot of stuff with that, because like all of Abba's buttons are quite whiff punishable, especially that 5 heavy. Really slow on startup, reaches decently far, but oh boy if it whiffs. And when you're facing a character who can whiff punish you from such a long distance away, such as Johnny, gotta definitely pick your spots. Maybe not even try to interact unless you have your funny mode on. But is definitely easier said than done. The name of the game definitely is momentum for Freygarr here. In that sort of way, very much like a Strive character. The meta of the Strive has very long has been about, you know, snowball, momentum. Whoever gets the wall break first is, especially with a hard knockdown, is usually in a huge advantage. Gonna build at least half to maybe 75% of meter, and then you have the meter economy going for you. You have so many different options that you can do from there on out. So yeah, getting your leg in between that door is gonna be super important. How much is LagBoy gonna allow that to happen? Like we have some connection issues here between Freygarr and LagBoy too. Oh, this is a kind of a cursed evening already. Okay, short intermission before we get started. I'm gonna need to restart game to make sure that everything is a-okay before we get started. Some of the things that you can try to work with, even if you are close to bust on ABBA. Some of the best pokes for Johnny are sort of high profile standing, such as like, you know, everybody knows the far slash, everybody knows the Mistfiners, especially the K variant that goes really far but does not clear the ground. You could try to use your command dash to go under, or you could try to stay at like a relatively safe distance, maybe like a tip range of Johnny's pokes, and then try to get those parries in. And the parry is very different from many other characters. Like many other characters have like a counter type parry, whereas Abba's doesn't really get you any sort of instant momentum going, but it does give you back around, I think it's 1/4 of your jelly bar. So from positions where you can't really interact with the opponent, especially against like characters who send a lot of fireballs at you, you could try to parry those, build up your jelly, and that way try to put yourself in a really good position, maybe build 100 jelly, and then when you finally get into the mode, then you have you have 10 seconds of unadulterated fun time to work with. It's actually a huge difference between whether you start your install at only half, like the default amount, which is around 5 seconds, compared to if you install with, you know, your full gauge ready to go.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of...
Because every time you come out of the mode, you usually gain, like... If you don't pop, if you come out manually, you usually gain like half of what you spend back. So let's say you start with 10 seconds, uninstall at 5. That would give you around 7.5 seconds to work with again, which is a huge deal. It's all about the timing, all about the amount of time that you can spend in the mode. But let's see if Freygarr gets to spend a lot of time in that mode. Oh no. Are we good? Did we get another disconnection? No way. There is just no way. Damn, okay, well... Oh, we good? Are we playing? Ready to go? Trying to figure out what the problem is here at the moment. It could be a decent.
Negative penalty.
I mean, could be a decent. It's sort of what it looked like. But the thing is, sometimes it's just, you know, sometimes, especially when it comes to Guilty Gear Strive, it's just, you know, some days it just doesn't work. We get the call for final try. We could also make one of the players host the room. That's sometimes been the solution to this kind of problems. Gonna ask if the players want to try with a different host. We are gonna run with the current setup. I'm not sure if it's like it. I think Freygarr said it has to do something with controller, maybe. Well, either way, here's to hoping, crossing my fingers. Hopefully we can get a match here. I think it's unfortunate as well because I did see a couple of players who were excited to see Freygarr's ABBA earlier. Alright, here's to hoping. Another super polarized matchup. Can we get it? We love these. the struggle, the CPT, the tears, the blood, the sweat, and then the satisfaction once you finally manage to get here. Ooh, love this tune. Wait, hopping in, looking much better now. LagBoy started with a throw, able to draw. Freygarr making sure that, or deal, not draw, card terms. Burst has been used for both players. Gets a parry in there between 6K and Nsenga. Now we are working with that 10 seconds if we can only get an install in. However, so far Freygarr is content working with this normal mode, which is by no means bad pressure whatsoever, especially since you have an ability to produce a lot of plus frames. Ooh, trying to go for the throw, however, the extra fast movement speed in the aerial state there, provided by the install, making sure that Freygarr is way, way far away from the reach of the throw. Yeah, that is quite punishable. However, with the 2K, 2D can't quite reach from that spaced distance. Same situation again. Oh, it is quite minus. I can't remember how minus the records are. It looks like far slash is another potential button that LagBoy could work with. Those record punish situations to the other side. With the RC conversion, spending a lot of resources to get that wall. We still have around 2 seconds left here before the pop happens. At this point, usually the opponent's best bet is to try to make your combo or your block string for that matter last as long as possible so that you can force Abba into that pop state. Extend that combo, try to go for the same as we did previously. Only one record this time, however, intercepted from the air, switch sides, and now LagBoy can't quite finish the combo, so Freygarr putting first point on the board. So we can definitely do this, not getting zoned out too bad. Starting with the parry. Does catch that round start 2S from Johnny, and that means that we are relatively high on the jealousy rage bar already. Now all we need is the activation, which can come in a couple of different forms, out of which the two most common ones are this one, the key grab, but you can also use the Rekka 1, Rekka 2, which does knock down the opponent and gives you enough frame advantage to manually shift into the mode, whereas the key grab puts you in there automatically. Which is probably gonna happen here. Again, the wild is all just... Wait, it looks really funny. It looks like kinda should reach, but then it just ends up not having enough momentum. Maybe just ABBA problems. All the characters in this game, even though they have the same color of Wild Assault, you do have some unique properties with those. And I guess ABBA is not one of those characters who's like meant to have like super strong combo game with these, or with her blue Wild Assault. Due to the kind of character she is. This time we're finishing up the combo, and the cherry on top, the hard knockdown, with the opponent at a considerable life disadvantage, and also in the down state. Started with the instant air dash, bluffs there with the Mistfinder cancel into a throw, and then can we finish it up? Joker trick, even though it is the lighter hitting super, still does enough in this situation when the opponent is already so low health. Ooh, nice whip punish there. LagBoy wanted to start with a 5K, probably because I usually see, players doing this because a lot of you are like faster buttons can check some of the more daredevil kind of options at round start from ABBA, but then also be safe if ABBA tries to play very safe herself. That's might be tapped out of the sky. Does play a little bit a lot of real estate with that one. The Freygarr answers back, still holding on to the normal mode. Switch will happen here with the key grab, and now we are in a really tough spot. Able to dance past the Mistfinder. That's that's kind of nutty. Goes under with the command dash. And is it gonna be enough last minute pop. We'll get the punish there, keeper of the key. This is in normal mode though, so won't buy you too much frame advantage. Trying to find the last hit. However, LagBoy smartly holding onto the FD, negating all of the chip damage. Still, in the end, chooses to engage. And Freygarr is ready with the anti-air. There's one thing that this character doesn't lack. You have decently okay anti-air options, especially since you have your 2S in addition to your 6P. I think 6P is kind of small, kind of lackluster range, but the 2S really covering the angles that you can't necessarily reach with sort of the horizontal nature of the 6P. I guess they have, like, if you wanna like name a job that they have to accomplish, 6P would be the horizontal anti-air and the 2S would be the vertical one. Last top situation. Oh, interesting. The command dash actually went under the 2P. Yeah, jabs generally in Guilty Gear don't necessarily, like, they aren't glued to the ground. Whereas the 2K kind of buttons generally are. We're able to get a jump in. Activating with a super this time. That's 10 second, ready to go YRC here. The problem if you try to YRC and or burst when the opponent still has a lot of jelly left, you can kind of see what the problem here in action. The opponent still gets to play sort of advantageous neutral against you. I don't think any, like, even if you are a zoner, I don't think any of the characters in this game are able to, like, comfortably control Jealous Rage Abba. Card Crush into 6K Mistfinder. Just looking for potential mistakes. And then from a perfect distance there, LagBoy opens it up. Mistfinder. That is the kind of gameplay that you generally tend to lean on after you manage to make sure, like, after you manage to make the other player pop on the jealousy department. DK Mistfinder mix up here, finds its mark, forcing Freygarr to use the burst. Saying RC on top of it, making sure that we are plus. We find the wall break. Hoplan is going to be at the 50. Ooh, nice! Slides with the command dash once again under those high-profile pokes that we were talking about so much. LagBoy has slowly starting to warm up. Oh, the Rekka 1, Rekka 2. There is an option to install after those ones, but Freygarr, I think Freygarr just probably loves to use the normal mode quite a bit. Can come down to stylistic choices. It is also, like, slightly harder on your execution to get the install after the Rekka 2. You have to have your timing right, and then you don't necessarily get, like, completely point blank, if I recall correctly. RC here, 5 seconds left on the clock. Can we do anything with it? LagBoy extending the combo with the Wild Assault, forcing the pop, and now corner guarding situation. Counter hit 2K into 5K, nice! It's cool when you can get an accidental counter hit on those stagger situations, even if you are sort of committed to playing your stagger string already. While you are dialing that stagger string, you can confirm that, okay, so my starter has a counter hit, so we can definitely work with this. Trying to reach with the 2D from Abba, not quite there again and again. However, the active range of Johnny's a little bit further. Successful command grab once again. Sorry, not command grab, command dash. It's Freygarr momentarily in position. Control from LagBoy and Johnny. It's looking good here. 100 meter. So cool thing is you can get into your Jealous Rage mode by hitting with your reversal super. So that is always an option if you have your full bar and the opponent wants to press it like so. Probably, yeah, holding onto the burst here, which is the safer bet for Freygarr. you can see here, the 5k whiff here from Johnny's side, even if you whiff it against the command dash, I think you are still in frame advantage on the Johnny side. And to combat this, you would have to be a sort of conscious of what the opponent is doing and look for specifically whiff punish on those like short, low recovery buttons. Extending the pressure. Finally, the positive bonus is done. But LagBoy still manages to build into that 50 meter, extending pressure. Looks tough. Tried to go for a burst, however... Sorry, not burst. Oh my god. My brain is all over. Tried to go for a throw. But luckily, with the new changes of the previous patches, able to YRC guard crushes nowadays. So you do have some extra chips, extra options in those situations where you are on your last hit point. Freygarr here. Cutting the combo short. Is that gonna reach? Yes, indeed. Very nice presence of mind there in terms of where the stage position currently was. Lands into a throw, unfortunately, waiting for the burst. LagBoy not quite ready to do it just yet. Wild Assault also sealing the burst for a couple more seconds. But B does get the anti-air and burst into the corner. Freygarr waking up with a parry. We are at the clean 10 seconds again, but we don't get to use it this time around. With the dash-in throw, seals the deal. Slightly slower on that dash department in the modern patches, but still, it is a step dash. Need offer some unique kind of advantages in those neutral and tick throw situations, where you can get a nice amount of burst momentum when you're trying to close in on your opponent. Leaving the card behind. Players trying to fight for that position. The pop finally happens. Freygarr was actually extended in that block stun for such a long time. Yeah, recognizing that the, whatchamacallit, not Zweihander, the Volt deal is quite minus unless combined with an RC. First bait here. Good from a guard crush into another throw, resulting in a deal. Once again, guard crush looping well, finding the hit, and now we can go into it again. This is how Johnny's gameplay flows. Finally finding an interruption here. LagBoy had that one last lifeline there. First to keep the opponent in the corner. Nice anti-air as well. Freygarr once again with an opportunity to turn it up. Are we gonna go into an install here? Not quite yet. Just a micro dash into far slash, and that far slash finds the mark. Finally getting the install online. We also have enough resources to potentially go for a keeper of the key here. Let's see what Freygarr's option is. Powering through with the Danzai. Wasn't block, but extremely punishable on whiff. Will be able to even it out 3-piece each. Okay. Finally able to put a stop to LagBoy's momentum. Heading into the mid game. I think that was an attempt for Freygarr to use like a slightly delayed far slash in order to try to counter block the 5k from LagBoy that he has been using on the round start position so far. Right, auto bonus secured. And gets hit on the safe jump. This should be a kill, right? With the extra damage that you get from the positive bonus and the overwhelming amount of meter, we can go into J. Boom! 9 up! Literally 1 hit point. Big body character, or like, even though like aesthetically Abba isn't exactly big body, you can kind of think of her as a big body character. She has that slow mobility and the defensive modifiers to tank a lot of damage. And unlike Nagoriyuki, her defensive modifier never is modified. It stays the same throughout the whole ordeal. Ooh, okay, the FRC to get a makeshift anti-air there. Maybe get the knockdown, plus frames from the key grab. LagBoy tried to do something there, but got caught. That's one of the reasons why we always say that the pressure during your normal mode is pretty okay. But now let's see if LagBoy manages to turn the tides. Freygarr is still in positive bonus. Wakes up with the Super RC. Basically the get me out of jail card for free. Although it is not quite free, it does cost you all of your resources if you want to go for that one. Super PRC 100. But technically cannot be punished. At least I don't know a way that you can. Plus frames from close distance. It's always important, like even if you can print those plus frames on Abba's normal mode, like, even a small amount of FD is gonna generally push you out, so trying to cut your strings as short as possible and or utilizing the Karakoman grab, or Karaki grab rather. Be able to get a manual uninstall here and return a lot of that juice. Boom! Okay. Even though it seemed like a small optimization at the end of the round, it's always an opening for the opponent if you don't treat your unique resource, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Tenderly, sweetly. If you don't pay attention to it, it is one of the best opportunities for your opponent to go into their victory condition. If you run out and can't get more, it's pretty much a checkmate for Abba in a lot of matchups. So the bonus achieved once again. And containing Freygarr in the corner. There's so little momentum from the air dash of Abbas. LagBoy easily able to position himself in a place where you can see it coming from a mile away and then rev up your anti-air. Waking up with 6B here, okay. Going into the Rekkas. Lots of juice. Can we get to West Coast? Definitely can. Counter hit, however, in the modern patches can't really convert out of those. The drop kick, really nice tool for trying to skip the neutral or trying to engage the opponent, but even on counter hit, you at best get I think just a hard knockdown in the modern patches. A lot of parries here. And the activation. Ooh, can we block? Yes, indeed. And with a nice 2k punish. Staying even still. It's a very, very interesting kind of way to play Abba, definitely. Most of the time, especially like when you are already at like full jelly bar, many Abba players will try to rush into that mode as their #1 priority. Successful bar slash. Nice! Command dash under that. I think it was a... That was a... whatchamacallit? Ensenna. Oh, but at a critical range here. And the Abba reversal super has decent amount of range. Not the best, but decent amount. And with the extra reach from the mode 2D. Good reaction there on the command dash. I guess there is reason for LagBoy to sort of keep looking for it. Sometimes like this is another very interesting, unique kind of play stylistic choice for Freygarr. Uses the command dash even during the install mode quite a bit. Has been able to go under a lot of stuff with it as well. So if you are paying attention to, yeah, exactly, if you are paying to the options that your opponent is playing, there is reason to be on the lookout for that one. Because like tools such as this, like Milia's Mirage, any kind of command dash into throw is something that you can get a lot of value out of if your opponent is just sleeping on the wheel. And again, here we go with that command dash. It's so fast when you have your install active as well. Oh, but a perfect position here. LagBoy snipes the Jealous Rage Abba from the sky. Ooh, that's actually gonna be enough. No, never mind. Never wrong or never right. Far slash still with the forward moving momentum, catching the jump out. A lot of players don't really tend to say that the far slash from ABBA, especially in normal mode, is quite lackluster, but in a way it serves a really unique kind of function for her kids. Like having that slight amount of forward moving momentum makes sure that when you are in, especially like in a pressure position, it tends to reach a little bit higher than maybe some of the equivalents. Counter hit from the downside starter, spending it all. This should be enough, right? Johnny is certainly not high EHP enough character to survive this. And Freygarr able to get into the leading position as we are inching towards the last potential rounds here of the FT7. Ooh, 6-speed working its magic. Where you going? Even from behind. There we go. The Mistfire is quite the commitment. It has a lot of recovery. Now, this is usually not a problem if you don't have it with. You know, only minus 15 on block. There are a lot of memes about that button and how it's like unsafe for from certain distances. But usually when you're using it from the neutral position, like so, you're expecting it to land on block. Exactly, that's what happens if you're using the command dash of Abbas. If you can go under it, if you can make it with, Johnny is put into considerable amount of recovery that allows you to get some really nifty punishes. I think close slash is what Freygarr has been working with a lot of the time. And what better starter this time, not going for the throw, but instead a spaced 2K. Yeah, the command dash might not always take you into the opponent's throw range, which is the case this time though. Again, command dash on wake up, goes under the poke. Ready to block, ready to break the throw as well. Trading 6-speeds back and forth. Oh, that was a pretty valuable burst there. Not only getting out of the potential install activation, but also making Freygarr lose the 50 burst that you spent on Wild Assault. Right, knockdown. I think this one should kill, right? No way Abba survives. Yeah. That's kind of like the sweet range. I think that was just enough to KO Abba from those high guts. Oh, even the FRC not holding LagBoy in the corner. Able to escape, but for how long? The ever-present threat of that 10 seconds of jelly. Ooh, the delay there! And the second Rekka also being a low can be sort of like a knowledge check is jump scare sometimes. Wait. Oh, I think the second hit, or like the hit that puts you into your install didn't quite hit cleanly there because Freygarr didn't get the mode activation after the reversal super. Trying to wake up with 6P, another 6P. We are in there, somewhat. Good trade for Freygarr. Sending the keeper of the key. Able to activate with it as well. 5 seconds left in the clock. Waves the throw. This is dangerous. We can set up a card crush here. Ooh, and the Ensenga finds its target. Boom. 5-5. Impossible to say at this point who is gonna come out on top when the deed is down. There we go. That was a clean whiff punish on the 5K. Yeah, I guess because like far slash doesn't extend you necessarily that far away. It's more like the reach of the Abba far slash comes from the forward moving momentum and it being so slow. Maybe that is sort of the magic button that you need to whiff punish that 5K on round start. Or it could be a timing issue. It's kind of sometimes hard to see like what the timing is for the players to play their opening gambits. Reaching forward with those jumps. The KK version of Mistfire does not reach air, does not reach ground, so different ways to try to power through. It's gonna be LagBoy who powers through with this one. There is a counter layer though. If you think that the opponent will wake up with a super, you could always slap them with a nice old Danzai. Which basically armors through even supers. I think it's a mechanically a guard point rather than a super armor, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's a hyper armor, like a specialized hyper armor that does not get beaten by supers. Trying to take LagBoy into the corner. Ooh, a deep range of that 2K. Able to get the anti-air there. Immediate burst from LagBoy. Freygarr. Getting an install would be huge, but can we get it? Super wall break here. It's gonna be around 75 meter in the tank for Freygarr after this wall break. So super is available, but not of the safe kind. And I forgot if the reversal super is a 9-framer. I think not. I'm pretty sure Johnny can get a safe jump on that. 2 in a row again. This time LagBoy, as we're inching ever so closer to that 7-point threshold. Ooh, there we go, counter hit 5 heavy. Those are some of the best party starters. Like even from that hit, that kind of hit, like even if the drop kick doesn't give you a definitive combo, 5 heavy counter hit does if you're ready to confirm. Not recovering in time. Seeing the punish text there on the left side of the screen, so the super did manage to get a hit on those recovery frames of the command dash. Ooh, Danzai, and still able to pick it up. This will definitely go into the corner. Spending it all. I think not quite enough because LagBoy was at half health at the start of that combo. So now the reversal super during mode will spend all of the remaining jelly. Doesn't look like it's gonna be a problem for Freygarr. Just quick 1-2-3 RC. Able to seal the deal. Wants to take this into the absolute final game. Started with a good 6B. Yeah, those are relatively easy on Abba because of the slow movement speed in the air. I mean, Abba does have some RPS there. You can use your jump D, which is kind of like a drop kick that can hold your momentum for a little bit. Ooh, once again, the command dash able to get you a close slash punish. Both players have spent. Ooh, the Joker trick is just going to be parried. Big value. That was an IB as well. Wait, does Abba get a punish there? Mistfire at close range. Whoa, the reversal super he reaches, and this time able to get the mode switch. The reverse hit to the wrong side with Danzai there. Does ground LagBoy. Set point. Set point for LagBoy. Freygarr still needs one more game. In addition to the round. Ooh, that was not plus enough, whatever LagBoy tried to do after the instant air dash. It did connect that normal pretty high up in the air. 6 heavy missing, no worries. We go into more pressure on width. Mode is active. Both players trying to throw over. Not enough momentum to get in there. And neither of these characters having any extra throw range either. Dialing to the super, we could RC. There we go, this time the throw break is there. Freygarr has the advantage and gets the throw. Lives to fight for the absolute final round here, or rather the game. Maybe even final round, we'll have to see. The situation is gonna unfold in just a couple more minutes. Once again, the command dash is the wake-up option of choice. And LagBoy hasn't been too bothered, hasn't like switched up their like poke types. You could poke with something that hits low to counter that command dash, or use is it the S variant, the low variant of Mistfire if you absolutely wanted to block out the ground roots. But has opted to work with, for the most part, with the K variant of Mistfire, which is like this one. I think it's the more common tool. Once again, set point LagBoy. No bursts available. Only natural, organically grown combos for a while at least, until one player gets a wall break. Yeah, that meter comes fast. Not only tension, but also burst meter. Guilty Gear Strive. Hard knockdown. A safe jump available. I guess like there's nothing to do here. No burst. Sorry, no tension available. No reversal supers. Backdash from the minus frame situation. Ooh, 6-speed does just barely reach in there. Freygarr has to be careful. Ooh, very rare footage of Freygarr just installing at neutral. Gets down install as well. That's how you know it's go time. Ooh, gets the burst! And now, wall break potentially as well. Ended with a key grab, we go into the mode. Couple more seconds and Freygarr has 50. The 50 is ever so important here if you want to force things. Keeper of the Key is available if you want definitive plus frames, although Freygarr hasn't been too much of a fan of that tool so far. 6 heavy, no cancel! It's okay, it's okay. Final Luigi. Freygarr has a small advantage in terms of the burst resources going into this absolute last round. And LagBoy starting defensively, but how long can you play that defensive game? Bar slash tracks you ever so closer. Key grab producing plus frames and the counter hit from the 5 heavy. We can go into conversion. Rekka 1, 2 and the activation. Freygarr finally taking off the extreme weighted West. All the training weights are down. We are finally installing at full screen. But we're gonna be a pop here. Let's see if we can ride that frame advantage, or sorry, well, I mean, there was frame advantage there for sure. Catching the backdash as well. No longer backdash of the gods. Johnny nerfed to maybe Oblivion, question mark. Ooh, the punish there. 2K, but no follow through. Plus frames. Yeah, I think at this point, LagBoy does know. Backdash out of the wild assault. Started with a close slash. This time we have the meter to make sure that we are plus on the walk deal. Anybody's game at that point. FRC to make sure that, oh, inches close. Deal into guard crush. What do we do? Throw, is that enough? OTG is enough, uses the downwards misfire. And at the very last moment, at the very tail end of his life bar as well, LagBoy had almost no life to spend. What a back and forth until the very last moment. There's something extremely scary about how Freygarr has been holding on to that, you know, that has been holding on to the, you know, the install at neutral situations throughout this whole set. But when it matters the most, when we're inching closer towards the end, all the training weights come up and we are absolutely installing at full screen and dashing at the opponent, beelining towards the victory, and almost got there. That was like a 3-0 at the start as well for Freygarr, so good on LagBoy for not succumbing to the despair of the current situation. Now, what a set. That's some good shit. And I bet there's gonna be some good shit on the horizon in just a couple more moments as we are moving on to one of the top seed matches of the evening. Also, howdy raiders from the Lemming stream. Now that we have a short moment to breathe, welcome, welcome. This is our third matchup of the evening. Rather high level at that as well. Froyo versus Hoplan. You guys had yourself a cozy stream. Now we have Froyo, who, if memory serves correctly, has been slaying Finnish competitors as of recent. Is that true? I remember we had like a double. We definitely had 2 matches in a row against the Finnish opponent. And this would be the third here, Hoplan. Let me consult my data sheet to get the stats correct. I guess it wasn't back-to-back, right? It was first Puro, then there was a couple of matches in between, and then it was Rai against Leo. But overall, this would be the third Finnish warrior that Froyo has to that is going to face on a short on short term. Yeah, my brain is really not working tonight. Lack of sleep, maybe. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. I'm absolutely I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. I'm really hesitant to bet against Hoplan because like this guy is just an absolute unit and able to make even the most miraculous turntables happen from an underdog position. But I wouldn't say that Hoplan is gonna be the underdog tonight. If I had to guess, like these players are relatively at the sort of the same skill level, which is of course, you know, preferable. Being a show match event and everything. But like if I honestly had to bet money on one of these fighters, I'm not sure who I would choose as my my go-to. Apparently the matchup is relatively even as well. Both of these characters have unique mobility difficulties, problems, disadvantages. Being that you can't really adjust your position like normally. You don't have a normal dash. Your dash does take you into very nice mix-up position, puts you in the air, hence the name hover dash. Extremely strong when on the offensive, but not the best when playing neutral. Nagoriyuki has the kind of a similar-ish problem, not having access to normal dash, has to always use his unique resource if you want to close in on the opponent.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So
Back and forth, gotta be really careful who gets the first hit. Usually when Nagoriyuki finds it, there's a lot of damage to be scored. If you are low blood, then you can make the damage happen by chaining together a lot of special moves, bring the opponent to the corner, maybe even make yourself pop, and then cause an unholy amount of punishment. On the Ino side, I guess it's partly due to how Nagoriyuki's mechanics work. If Nago goes high on blood, of course, very soft target, soft like, you know, around the level of Chip, Zaneth, and Milia. So you can expect to do a whole lot of you can expect to do a lot of damage on this character when you manage to actually land those hits on high blood. But also, like, Ino's hits are very relevant, even if you don't necessarily do like massive amounts of damage, because you can get into this position, the mixer. And now already Hoplan, 2 bars of blood. Gotta be relatively conservative for the moment. I mean, it's always an option that you find a huge hit with something like Clone Fukio or Fukio Beyblade. If you get a counter hit, then maybe you can land a couple of heavy buttons that manage to get you blood back. But that moment ain't gonna be this round for Froyo. Starts with a very convincing round. Hops over the low as well. I mean, even though you lack the utility of being to position yourself like instantly with a normal. Oh, well, that thought going under with the stroke the big tree. I think that was a heavy version as well. Coast to coast, dropping Hoplan into a really nice spot Are we gonna take the wall break? Yes, indeed, but with a soft knockdown. Drift forward. Froyo is patient. Yeah, 100 in the tank. We can force stop for sure. This could even be a kill. The wall has relatively low amount of damage. Hoplan goes for the deflect shield. That was probably the only play that you could make there with the amount of resources that he had left. Froyo starts guns blazing going into this set, not allowing Hoplan to really get his game plan started. I think Hoplan is kind of like the Naga player I see Hoplan as is taking the initiative more than being patient, like being, what's the word I'm looking for? Being active rather than being reactive is the kind of player I usually see Hoplan as. So when sort of forced into a corner like this, I think this is like the least favorite position for Hoplan to play from. Oh, that's a counter hit. Let's see what we can do. It's been a while since any hits have been landed as well, so basically full damage, full health on the wall as well. I think this is good. This is a good one. Yep. Able to equalize the situation, not just on the HP front, but also drawing back blood. Able to move around a bit. Get a glimpse of that far slash in the air, and this time it's not gonna be far slash. It's the better version. It's the close slash of the Kings. One of the best anti-airs as well as pressure starters in the game. Not only +1, but +3. Definitely an S button to be afraid of for a lot of characters. Sequencing into the blood pop. I wonder if that was just a conscious choice of not to wall stick there, but instead let them fall onto the ground. I think that looked like a conscious decision for Hoplan. So I guess most people would be expecting that you at least go for like a 5B to wall stick them and then take a huge 6 heavy to break the wall, or even a super. But Hoplan kind of let Froyo touch the ground and then go for a mix-up there. Which probably isn't a bad decision, because like then you can potentially shoot for the kill straight up instead of breaking the wall. Ah, just a little bit too far away there. The FD from Froyo, making sure that even with the extended throw, or I mean, I guess that wasn't a throw, that was a command grab that Hoplan went for. S-low profiles under, into the bite, here we go, party started, or unless we get a clean backdash from the pressure. And 50-meter descent on top of that as well. Hoplan has a lot of resources here. Good wake up with the super, indeed does so. I think I saw, no, never mind, I didn't see anything. Didn't see nothing. And now Froyo with a lot of resources. That was a very important jab out of the corner. Hoplan, guard crushed due to the mad love. And Froyo has so many resources. Oh, and waits for the deflect shield to dissipate as well. A weaker player would have just cashed in and went for a throw there, but Froyo is like, nah, we're taking the biggest starter possible. Close slash, baby. Oh, the counter initiation there. Fukio backwards, making the STBT whiff, and then in the striking distance, finding a close slash again. Not even wall stick, actually playing into a perfect range to play that overhead DP2. Okay, that's kind of cool. There's a lot of spacing trap kind of gameplay going around here from both players. I mean, it's super important. You don't want to get too close to Nagoriyuki at any moment, because you know that extended throw range is a threat. But at the same time, Ino can play positions like that as well, because she has her H buttons that are extremely good counter pokes. Deflect shield into a punish with the Beyblade! And we still have a little bit of blood left to spend. Can do some shenanigans here. Reversal super out of there is gonna be enough on that blood level 1. Really interesting, like a very good mix of just being patient on defense and being super aggressive on defense. Froyo has been super comfortable holding on, like holding the pressure that Hoplan has been putting out so far. But then when push comes to shove, not a stranger to just reversal super out of there. Nice, takes the air with a hover dash, but still able to block against Hoplan's advancements. Block on the overhead, and the last stroke, the big tree, finds its target, and when you have 50 on top of that, you can definitely double it up and reset your pressure. If you want to fight against something like that, you would have to stop the stroke, the big tree, from going online, so depending on the block string, you might be able to 2k in there, you might be able to throw the STBT on reaction, or if you have a reversal available, that's an okay play as well. I don't think Ino can true string into STBT in any shape or form. Again, letting Froyo fall onto the ground, and that's a kill! That's exactly why he does it! Absolutely, sir! With the amount of damage you have available, just with a couple of heavy slices, able to take the latter half of the opponent's life bar. Right, extending from that guard crush. Try to exert with the disjoints. There we go. 2S checks to stroke the big tree. I think that's the first one that has been checked for this set. Froyo switches it up a little, engages from the air. And it can be hard to see between like when Ino wants to skip the neutral from like low position with a stroke the big tree, or when she wants to sort of dive in with her special move dives, or just like going into a quick skip it a hop and hover dash forward with jump slash or the like. A lot of that is not very reactable depending on like what you're holding it on. The Wild Assault can definitely take this wall break. 60% and positive bonus. Hoplan gets the blood back, but we have a lot of resources here. Fukyo backwards, sort of anticipating maybe the reversal super would be coming out. Is Froyo gonna play it? Ain't gonna be played here. Oh, wants to use it. Absolutely wants to use it. The reason why Froyo took this risk here, oh, not quite. I thought I saw a backdash from Hoplan for a moment, but maybe it was just the startup of like a 5B or something. Checks the incoming hover dash with the DP. That goes into decent combo. Drops the ender here though. Hoplan still in an okay position when you get the opponent contained in the corner. Even on high blood, you do have your 5 heavy, which again can be low profiled under with the stroke the big tree. Speaking of which, and combining with the trip forward RC, checks the situation, sees Hoplan whipping, picks appropriate low profile buttons. Yeah, close slash, safely grounding the opponent. Back Fukyo, perfect cancel into 6 heavy. Can't really contest this very easily, even if it's -2. Once again, an opportunity for both players to take lead in this set, starting with the DP. Serves like multiple purposes. If your opponent is swinging into you, it should beat them with a big counter hit, and if Ino is jumping forward or or hover dashing forward, it also grounds her into plus frames. Oh, again, the stray stroke the big tree from downtown. Finding its mark. Full combo, hard knockdown. Hoplan with all the resources though. Has 1 bar of blood as well. Ooh, goes for an immediate bait there. Hoplan doesn't bite. Uh-oh. Okay. The stroke the big tree. Can we actually finish it up here? No, not quite. Not even a wall break. Hoplan forced to burst. Switches positions with that burst. Straight forward. The jump slash with those slowed down frames. I wonder. Froyo might have actually had the slowdown still on, because remember, blue RC is, I think, the longest slowdown period that you can apply out of all the RCs. After the jump in, might have still had her frame slowed down, allowing Hoplan to reach forward with that extended grappler throw range. That's especially problematic if you try to jump into buttons like close slash, which is 7 frame startup, but with the slowdown, that's gonna be like double. I'm not like 100% sure how they calculate that. In the previous games, it just doubled your frame data if you were slowed. So like doubled your startups, doubled your actives and stuff like that. All right, down goes the Nago. Yeah, once again, the DP has been working so well. It reaches so far as well, because like even when Froyo seems to have like a little bit of backwards moving momentum from those jumps, it still tends to reach. Low slash, yep, is available. Hoplan recognizes that's gonna be the nail in the coffin. We have to burst, there is no choice. And with that fresh amount of blood, burning, this should be a pop into. We have 100, send it! This is like a maximum damage sequence. I think that is enough. Yes, indeed. I was worried there for a moment. That combo was so prorated. But I mean, technically Nagoriyuki doesn't have, like, especially on high blood, doesn't have that many hits in his combos. So the proration will set in much slower than for maybe some other characters. And especially with the new risk change, even if you have a little bit of risk on the opponent, he plays exactly into Nagoriyuki's hand with the combo structure that he has. Stomp into back Fukyo and straight in there. Well, good check here from Froyo though. Turning point, we have 100. Lots of options available. However, Hoplan goes under with a little bit of low profile frames offered by the Beyblade. Froyo strikes back, misses with the Mad Love. Are we still in there? Burst into the corner and then tap them with the DP2. That has been one of the go-to moves to end the round for Hoplan. And a very common strategy as well for, you know, many Nagoriyuki players. It's also like one of the sort of the reasons why whatchamacallit, the samurai mix has been so prevalent before. Although now that Beyblade no longer is a low, it's a little weaker, but if you wanted to produce the overhead threat, then the DP2 would be your go-to option there. Right, nice movement there. Diving over the clone. Not only finding a hit on Hoplan, but all of the blood that went down the drain because the clone didn't find its mark. Those consequences are gonna linger here in the subsequent RPS situations as Froyo finds the hit and gets to combo blood level 2 Nagoriyuki. Lots of extra damage from that minus defensive modifier. Ooh, from the super jump, finds the jump K. All of that blood that Hoplan spent is gonna be okay. We are in there after all. Oh. That kills. I think this kills. That kills. It's so strange sometimes, because like often enough when you see this kind of sequences where you like RC hits on wall stick, those would be mistakes. Those are usually sort of panic decisions for many other characters. For Nagoriyuki, it often ends up being just like fairly optimal amount of damage that you can deal. Add another like level 3 6 heavy. Yeah, that shit is worth like almost as much damage as a super. Now speaking of the supers, Froyo has available. Might have tried to sneak one in. Either didn't get the input or was playing a completely different Yomi layer. The layer could have been make Hoplan scared of the reversal super and just press something like a close slash or a 2P or 2K. Take your turn. But Hoplan was like, nope. I don't believe until you show. Starting with a slightly more, or not any less infamous round start there. Back Fukyo into Beyblade. Both that and the DP are go-to tools. Are we gonna pop? We're gonna pop too far away. And Hoplan is actually gonna play this. Burst into full blood bar. Gotta be really careful here. Even if Hoplan is so far away swinging with the DP 1-2, if you inch yourself forward, try to whiff punish, especially whiff punish on the DP first whiff, you might extend yourself into the second hit and get counter hit, which is not a good place to be. Let's put it like that. Mark with a B&B combo. Hoplan is going to be building a lot of meter here. Tried to go for a 5 heavy, however, stroke the big tree. Strong tool for low profiling that, as well as many other tools from Nagoriyuki. 100 on Hoplan. Life situation even goes for a Psycho Crusher, and that activates fast enough. I'm not sure what Hoplan was trying to do there. Maybe close slash to go for the big money, which ended up being not fast enough. And the snipe here on the 2 heavy. Yeah, that's probably the best you can do here. If you're looking for damage, that chemical love probably not the one, but for the last touch, absolutely. Trying to draw blood. 3rd time's the charm. 4th time, as 4 heavy buttons, 5. And even then, it's such a small amount of blood that Hoplan has been able to draw back. This looked like a safe jump, but is it? No, it's not. So Hoplan's blood situation now much brighter than before. Opting to play it from a safe distance with Beyblade, recover fast, close slash. One of the most classic maneuvers. If your opponent has the wrong trajectory, it is a very common counterplay option to try to draw out blood, try to hop over, hop backwards, try to just evade by being in the air. But if you're in the wrong place, and if Nagoriyuki, especially if Nagoriyuki recovers under you, oh boy, that is an uncomfortable place. Again, the second hit of the DP, finding the overhead, and that's a wrap! Hoplan on set point. It was absolutely even for the first like 5-6 games, but then what happened? Hoplan, turn on the heat. It's like, shit, the AC is not on. Make it whir. And Hoplan is absolutely on fire. Routing into the pop again. Probably not feeling the damage of the super this time around. It's okay. We can drop the opponent into a quick little mix-up / pressure into checkmate into what are you gonna do about this? like if you hold block, you're just gonna be screwed there. Either way. Like crazy burst of momentum for Hoplan towards the latter half of the set. Looked like Froyo had super good control of the neutral and everything at the very beginning, but as soon as Hoplan was able to shift the sort of game into what he really is comfortable with, being the aggressor, being on the offensive, being the player who calls the shots for the most part, that's when it started developing in his favor. And oh boy, it developed really well. Another high-level matchup coming up next. Mox versus Sean. First time we see Sean on Bounty Hunters. Was a little between characters here. And I think we agreed to... What was the original? I think the original pick was Bridget for Sean, but... negotiated to be May instead upon seeing that the opponent plays a character that they are not super comfortable with. Okay, two heavy hitters that usually need to inch themselves close enough to the opponent to actually have the maximal threat. Baiken, when you get in, especially when you manage to attach the Kabari, has some pretty explosive rewards, and usually at the end of your combos gets to play some really nasty mix-ups as well. May, perhaps a little bit more... Well, the amount of range that May has is... it's a little different kind of range, because like you're the kind of character who either creates absolutely massive disjoint walls or just rams herself into the opponent. And I mean, technically the heavy kabari is the longest range poke in this matchup between these two, but we'll see how actively that will actually come into play. I guess you're like generally not super happy to try to zone your opponent out. It's more like I have this tool, I'm checking your long-range tool from safe distance away, but then that doesn't necessarily lead into your like win condition. Speaking of win conditions, ooh, but you can definitely do this if you have a lot of meter to spend. Heavy kabari into its follow-up into burn RC, even if it misses, or I mean, yeah, I guess even if it misses, if you have the money to pay, you can be free, you can be plus. Starting with the far slash, the 9-framer, one of the fastest, or rather the fastest type of round start S button that you have available in this game. And that's kabari. That was a pretty good deflect shield, able to push Mox away when you are basically plus frames and have a fresh kabari attached. Empty jump heavy. I wonder if that was meant to be an empty one. Into TK Yozan. You know the deal. It will get the wall stick and seals up the first game. Yeah, it is exactly the kind of sort of momentum you are gonna see from Bikens. If you let a Biken player get in once, it's you're basically guessing for your life. I mean, there are a lot of characters like that in Guilty Gear Strive. I mean, Mei is one of those characters herself. Her strike throw is basically like one close slash away from being a slash. Ooh, didn't believe in the plus frame advantage of Sean's there. Goes for the throw after the tap 5, or sorry, jump B. Switching sides, grounding Mei with the big old jump slash. And forcing the pressure from the RC. Could maybe even get a finish, not quite. Deflect shield once again. Sean has had a pretty clear sense for when the kabari, the S kabari situations are coming out. Catches Sean sleeping in the wheel, using the charge follow-up of the heavy kabari to go over and then get a throw. There we go, no reaction there on the S kabari. The most common one would be to, like, when you see the kabari coming, kabari animation revving up, use 6B, go under, or you could try to use one of your faster pokes as well if you're sure that you can reach. Nice block in the overhead this time. Comes down with the jump slash, this time plus. So Mox unable to get a successful button in. Oh, but here's the classic instant air dash jump slash. Sean, no choice but to burst there. Can't quite hop over. Ooh, but finds a close slash. Immediate burst from Mox. That would have potentially been the kill. Sean might have been able to build 50 from that. Gravely dangerous whiff on the 2 heavy there on the Mei side. And a frame trap into the tatami mat. Another one for Mox. Let's see if Sean is able to weather the really swiftly developing storm here. Yo, anti-airs from backside in my Guilty Gear, more likely than you think. Alright, we get the plus frames from the S kabari, and more importantly, okay, good timing on the burst. This will clear the super, so we'll put Mox in a completely dry spell kind of a situation. Oh, okay, doubling up. Forward, drift, RC into more pressure. Wants to check if Mox wants to burst. Not quite yet. And at this kind of live situation, it's really hard if you are playing the bike inside here. Really hard to, you know, force any kind of value out of the burst. You would much rather take it to the next round, as Mox is doing here. To mix up, switching sides, yeah. You can kind of see that if you're super vigilant and see how Mox is setting it up, I think. But there isn't like that much you can, I guess, do about it unless you have reversal super ready to go. And even then, I'm not sure. Aggressive burst in the corner, try to 5P anti-air, which Mox calls out with the air ballistics. Ooh, combo miss there. But Sean still blocking the airways, jump B into a full conversion. My goodness, May! You doing that much damage from a jump B, girl? Finding a big counter hit. It's gonna be relatively okay to hit confirm, and hit confirm Sean does. Looking potentially for the first game. That should be a kill, right? Might get a burst back just in the nick of time. Sending the air gun. There we go, 2S. Successfully challenging, even if it trades with that huge life lead that Sean was working with. I would be pressing as well, for sure. even in an explosive game like Guilty Gear, what's the worst that could happen? Speaking of bad things that could happen, counter hit 6 heavy. Does that go into a big combo mid-screen? Most of May's counter hits are pretty volatile in terms of like the punishment they can send. Reversal super. However, Mox was waiting for that. Wow, that was like a third or the fourth time that we played that situation. And already had a correct layer. Oh, that was dirty. That looked like it was gonna cross up for a moment. Was the Kabari attached there? It looked really freaky. I mean, May is that character who has always had those really ambiguous left-rights if she wants to play those, even in previous games. Jump too heavy and like the variety, the slew of other different kind of momentum-altering tools that you have in the air make it possible. Charge that 6 heavy, maximum damage, wall break. When 50 tension is not available. Trying to force it while the Kabari is still active. I think that's like a pretty okay thing, even though both players, both characters can utilize the Kabari. I think generally Baiken is the one that ends up, you know, getting more value out of those, because like you specifically train for them and your kit is designed for the S-Kabari to be attached. So if you have an opportunity to stall out the Kabari during your block strings or like doing a combo that doesn't end up having it attached at the end, it's maybe valuable to you. Ooh, nice 6-speed to the right direction. And more importantly, with the right timing. That's counter hit 5 heavy. I've seen those before. Unwilling to bring the sequence all the way to the end. But now Sean still has a decent advantage. Goes for the super again. However, Mox still on that same read layer. A little bit too far from the corner. There we go. Time for Sean to go for those big reads. I mean, I guess not as big as it could have been, because you were looking for just a tiny bit more health to shave off the opponent's life bar. Going for the low. Just a simple little knockdown. To another S-Kabari. Basically telling Sean, please, good sir, defend yourself. Oh, this time it's gonna be a frame jump into bar slash and a quick conversion into super. Ooh, yeah, you're guessing for high-low here. From that instant air dash, when you can't really make it stop, you know it's gonna be either a TK Yosan or a 2D, but can't really see which one. One of those situations where you're just gotta guess. good interaction here with the 5B. Finding an anti-air as well. More pressure. Good. Yeah. Goes for the late FRC mix-up. Waiting for potentially Mox to extend herself into the buttons. Playing them from very far away. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to commit. You can play this kind of patient corner guarding kind of a game plan that Sean is going with at the moment. Plus frames for the up dolphin. Oh, however, Mox gets there. Rather out of there. Ooh, going low here. Mox will have to find a burst. Does so. 100 meter. Is it gonna be the missiles? Send the missiles, however! The angle for Sean is perfect that time. Align yourself horizontally with Baiken.
Duel 1.
Because the Gun Super only has an available angle to go downwards. Horizontal is not an option. So Sean was basically in an absolutely safe position. Well, not safe in the sense that, you know, if Jump Slash comes out, then you kind of will get, like, slammed back onto the ground, but, you know. Oh. Between the Kabari and the follow-up 2S, that was a great bet there from Sean. Well, charge 6 heavy. Lots of meter to play with here. Good. Or actually, that was on the Mox side. Sorry, looking at the wrong resource bars. Now we have 100 for Sean. Drift into Jumpy does basically guaranteed ground the opponent. Ooh, that's another punish. Look at that, the massively deep range of the Jump Slash. Choosing the absolutely right button for the job as well. Ooh, the 5 was so close. There we go, instant air dash, gets over the S button. Yeah, I would burst as well. But now Sean has an option to do the counter burst to break out of the corner. Does so. The explosion radius of the beach ball. End up preventing Mox. Oh, not able to. Oh, wait. It kind of looks like was able to recover in time from the poke, but was Sean was revving up another grounded poke there, which ended up getting gunshot. Ooh, brave challenge, but it definitely pays off here when you're challenging with these heavier buttons from May. Breaks from the split. But Mox's angle is perfect. Instant air dash, Jump Slash, say no more. Mix it up with the high-low. All the classic game pieces from the Baiken playbook. Right, no anti-air this time around. Probably waiting for a burst from Sean, but now there it is. There it is. First a small little soft bait, and then double up into a heavier one. Yeah, the closer you draw to your tail end of your life bar, the less options you have for choosing your burst spot. Once again, great movement, shimmying back and forth. Big counter hit from 5 heavy, prompting an immediate burst. Have to do that. Tap the 5D. Not the biggest combo that we can get from those prorated 5Ds, but hey, positive bonus is always a positive bonus, and now goes for the shimmy again. Oh, and the second time, same sequence. Knock knock, nobody's home on the first one, but on the second one, that's also kind of like a very psychologically common situation where sometimes your opponent might not be ready to like mentally play the RPS that you present them on the first go, but if you present it again right after, then you can be sure that they are kind of honed in on that RPS and are making decisions like explicitly for that RPS situation. Right, we need a comeback. This looks good. Did Mox have meter to cancel? Yes, indeed. Ooh, what a snipe with that too heavy from almost half screen away. On the landing recovery of Sean. I think Sean was actually in the air still, was coming down with the jump too heavy, looked like. Small little 1-2, 6p and a dolphin. Ooh, 6p and a 5k. Daring. There's not a whole lot that Mei can get from those 6Ps. She's like one of the weakest damage characters from the anti-air. But I mean, she has other more damaging anti-airs to work with, such as like a too heavy. Flipping over the Kabari, gets an overhead mix-up in there with the use of FRC. But now, to the other side, YRC, get off me! Mox has so many resources. If Mox gets a block string going, should be pretty good. Or just find a hit with an S-Kabari, one of your better starters. Into mix-ups. Deflect shield, once again, used perfectly by Sean. I think hasn't dropped the ball even once with that mechanic in this set yet. Saving it for the S-Kabari. Look at this beautiful neutraling. Finally, Sean commits, and it is unfortunately a huge commitment that ends up not paying off. These are kind of the decisions that you have to make in high-level fighting games. Are you gonna dive in, or are you just gonna sort of create a zone of control? They can't back anywhere. Their back is against the corner, so technically you just standing there is a huge threat. But on the other hand, if you wanna get on the driver's seat, if you wanna be the aggressor, then you gotta go in eventually, sooner or later. This is where the different styles of playing fighting games emerge. Ooh, again, that jumpy snipe into a full conversion. Absolutely picture perfect. I'm gonna try to walk past the tatami mat. Not quite successfully. Does it this time, though. Waits just a little bit. The parry comes out. B stagger pressure, finds a delayed dolphin frame trap into... Is that a kill? Not quite. Probably deemed that was not gonna kill even if I get a wall break here, so just drops the opponent in the corner and completely comfortable controlling the corner again. Look at this! Look at this! I think this is unlike of what I've ever seen from Mei players, especially. It's usually characters who have really like long sphere of influence, such as like, you know, your go-to Kai Kiskes, your Sins, your, you know, Nagos, who are good at holding the corner, but Mei can definitely do that as well. Alright, sending the 9-framer. Even faster, one of the options played on the throw break situation. But even though contained in the corner, Mox has been fairly successful breaking out of there with that 9-frame far slash. It is surprisingly good reaching, but nice! There was basically nothing that you could have done here, I think, unless you go for like a reaction RC drift backwards from the situation after you see the opponent RC. Oh, the shimmy again. Able to get the corner. And no burst baits whatsoever. Sean has picked his poison, which is if you want to burst you shall. But I mean, technically Mox doesn't have to. You're basically a round up here. Oh, the left right. Yeah, Mox is probably just gonna hold on to it. This would be the biggest strategical error ever to go for a panic burst here. But no, these high-level players never succumb to stuff like that. Never panicking, always staying on top of everything. Cool and collected, as a cucumber. Now Mox with the advantage, positive bonus and everything. Gonna result in 100 meter. Oh, the backwards cleaving hitbox, clipping with a counter hit. All right, that was brave backdashing out of there. The Heavy kabari not quite reaching. If that was the hit, that would have been a immediate game over. Jumpy again! The MVP button! Absolute MVP button for Sean. Getting a positive bonus of his own. Too heavy. Not fast enough. Can't catch Sean backdashing. Kabari kind of can't, but no conversion. To the other side. Commits to a big throw. Mox. Fuzzy jumping out. One of the most common escape, or rather defensive methods of Guilty Gear franchise.
Duel 1.
It's actually so damn dangerous. Like I've noticed, trying to play like a normal throw without PRC option select as your last round-ending gambit. Because like at that point, opponents are usually gonna be, ooh, I say usually gonna be trying to jump out. Not this time though. Mox reaches for the cookie jar, gets counter hit. Ooh, nice jump gate. That's a decent amount of upwards angle. Yeah, has to RC this, otherwise it would be a punish. Push for 6P a little too early, however, with the air moving shenanigans, Sean once again exerting this zone of control. From the ground, from the air, from everywhere. Tried to go for a sneaky little tap. That was for, I think, almost a full screen or like a full range 5D tap attempt. Has a little bit of disjoint for May. Speaking of disjoint, wow! What did Sean catch there? Was that jump slash? No way. Okay, Mox with a good 6P of her own. Yeah, the 6Ps have been traded back and forth. Ah, goes for the throw again. I mean, at least this time it was not the hardest hitting starter that could have been. Yeah, trying to walk backwards, trying to shimmy the best you can. May, deep in her heart, is a strike throw character through and through after all. So it's really good to have options like these that can bait the opponent's delayed throws, or fuzzy throws as we call them in the industry. Alright, Sean makes it 5 even. Once again, the situation equalized as we are moving on to the championship rounds here. Ooh, colliding with the 5 heavy. Luckily for Mox, that wasn't a counter hit though. Would have resulted in a huge ass migraine. Ooh, trade, but in whose favor? Relatively even. Trade! Oh, here we go. Finally finding a way in. And with 100 meter as well, you can force all sorts of things here. Spend meter on the heavy kabari, or go for blue wild assault. None of those options that were played though for Sean. Quickly flipping the momentum, tabling the turns. Ready with the 6P again, and again! Don't you test me twice in a row. And biking can't per se, like, she doesn't really have tools that can really alter her momentum unless you go for like a super gun. Yeah, 6P under, that works on the Escabari, for sure. I guess the problem for May is that her 6P isn't horizontally great. So like even if you 6P under the Kabaris, it's like sometimes you might just whiff and be... Are you even plus in that situation? Catches another one. Here's the challenge after the 6K. But once again, the Biken players, they are, on average, just a little bit better at utilizing those unique physics that... Oh, what was that? What was that? The gambit of the ages. Couldn't quite pull through. I guess it... But now Sean is definitely in a tough position unless you find the counter hit of your dreams. Left right, blocked successfully. One dangerous thing about those left rights is that I think Kiragi does catch both the lefts and the rights, right? You don't need to parry from the front. You can also parry from the back. Or am I crazy? Wait, am I crazy? Have I ever seen a parry from behind? Wait, now that I think about it, I don't think so.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Find a way to engage. The split is the first big RPS. I mean, we played a couple of tick throw situation earlier. Into another one. Wall had a decent amount of damage already, so the overhead kiss briefly, swiftly breaking it. Not the worst deal in this game called Guilty Gear Strive. Oh, but the parry was active already. Or has been. Always has been for those excruciatingly long frames. Rounding the opponent with the 5B, however, maybe trying to commit to a throw, which Mox got out first. The 100 meter in the tank, that could almost be close, not quite. Can't spend it here, just swings with a preemptive far slash. That's pretty great. I mean, Mei is not exactly known for her, like, space control with the S buttons. Usually wants to do it with the heavy ones instead. The cross-up? Are you kidding me? Right, but Mox makes the best out of sticky situation. Starts with the throw into more physics jank. Or instead of jank, we should probably say physics finesse? Physics... what's a really beautiful word? Art? Again! Knows the angles. You jump backwards, jank the string a little bit, and then come back with the vengeance. Set point on Mox, by the way. Yeah, the split was really well timed. Hop straight into the guard of Mox's. And time to perform a little bit of strike throw, however, the far slash again. I guess the downside is, like we were talking about, how Mei doesn't necessarily have the best range in those corner boxing situations. Viking can take advantage of that if you're trying to zone from too far away. There's always an opportunity to press your own buttons. Ooh, nice block on the overhead, but it's not over yet. Finds the low, deflect shield. Oh, okay, negating the pushback with the forward RC. Close slash, counter hit. Can we switch sides? Do we know the combo with the Kabari attached? Oh no, the drop. The tether might have been the culprit here. That ruined everything for Sean. With the jump B, backward shimmy. Kabari is attached. All resources are burned. It doesn't matter. We burn them for the sake of winning. Spend it all at the last moment. Overcome the opponent, which is what Mox has done here. The very classic play even till the last rounds and then do 2 in a row. 7-5. Really nice match here. Extremely back and forth, and Sean's Mei is definitely something new. It always like warms my heart when I see a player who brings slightly different kind of twist to the character that you've seen played over and over again. Especially the corner boxing game plan that Sean had. Really cool. Alright, next one is gonna be a clash of the newcomers. We got Sane on Johnny. And then Crisp playing as Giovanna. It's always cool when we manage to make these, these over the ocean matches happen. For this is Finland to East Coast. A little bit of international rumble and tumble. The matchup very interesting as well. You have on the layer 1 Johnny with the further ranging pokes. But then on the other hand, Giovanna, one of the best characters in the game to whiff punish those. Gotta be really careful here. Maybe even a slightly more careful that you would be in other matchups when facing Giovanna. And on the other hand, if you hesitate, Giovanna is one of those characters that can close in on you extremely fast because of her not just her step dashing, but also her ability to sort of bake momentum into her normals. Something like a dash 5k can turn into just a massively forward sliding kind of a poke tool. Oh, and there, exploiting the expectations, just rams them in the face with the spiral arrow, producing plus frames. That's one way that you can skip the neutral if you find your opponent sleeping. Oh, nice whip punish. Not quite able to get the last Smithfinder, John Smithfinder. John Smithfinder, the Guilty Gear specialist. At 100 in the tank for Crisp here. Reversal Super is available, or we can just back off, maintain the sort of the automatic install. Which is something that like a lot of players tend to forget, that Giovanna technically, I guess, is an install character because her mode sort of switches automatically depending on how much tension she has left. Able to enter level 1 with a 50 meter and then the full level 2 with a full stick of butter, which increases her stats, her damage and defense. Yeah, minus there, forced to block. Whenever you connect with the up dog on block, usually you're trying to RPS between like, just backdashing out. Is your opponent gonna chase you? Is opponent gonna try to prevent you from pressing buttons? Very common Guilty Gear Strive kind of RPS. The far slash catches Sane trying to jump out. Ooh, the far slash before the spiral arrow goes online. Can break it to the wall. Guard crush into a throw. 100 in the tank. Oh, what was that hit? Wait, did that? I think the turn up didn't actually activate there. Maybe the card didn't quite touch the floor yet. After deal. Yeah, we got the close slash of the royalty. One of the best anti-airs in the game. Ooh, but you do have this one, yeah, when the opponent is advancing on you more from a horizontal trajectory, that's exactly when you want to try to work with the 6P instead. Although at that time, Crisp had a really nice spacing there, not committing into the impending anti-air button. Crisp might throw a little too early, I guess. Luckily, Crisp was working with the PRC option select, so even if it misses, it is technically still your advantage. Ooh, dangerous whip on that too heavy. Sane pushes the advantage. Working with very little amount of health left. Ooh, just at the last possible moment, getting the burst out, and again, far slash, preventing the spiral arrow going online. I guess if you're preemptively trying to sort of make sure that Giovanna doesn't come in with that, you would use something that is very active and reaches far and hopefully fast as well. But if you're trying to react, then I guess you're just waiting and trying to react with a 6B. Ooh, and the punish there. Is the DP that minus? I guess so. Got them with a close slash once again on the landing. Decent combo inbound. Ooh, the stick happens one hit too early for what Sane was probably planning. That's a big punish, yeah. Minus 15 point blank, not what Doctor ordered, I guess. Oh, we're spending a lot of time there. Maybe waiting for a reaction. I mean, that's definitely something that you can do if you're expecting the opponent to reversal from the defensive position with the super. Step dash into nothing. Again, just a little bit too far. The minus 15, the elusive minus 15 after Mistfinder. But also Mistfinder, one of those tools that has almost no hit stop whatsoever. So really hard to react to. No way but to block the far slash here. Sane with the 100. Could use choker trick. But Crisp has been fairly patient, not pressing too many buttons willy-nilly at the neutral game. So there hasn't been that much to snipe. Guard crush into instant air dash. We can extend if we want to. No, we're not gonna RC. Not just yet. So now Crisp mounting potentially a comeback. All the juice has been spent. The spacing though, the spacing trap. Able to catch Sane with a 2K. There we go, finally finding an interruption. Now, Opti did not even spend that 100 meter. It's okay, we're saving for the next game. And on the other hand, if you're just so cracked that you don't have to use, then you don't have to use. Nobody ever forces you. Right, Spiral Arrow finding plus frames at mid-screen. Again, Sane has really good Abare buttons out of those Giovanna strings that end up being pushed back a little, back a lot. Switching sides, tempted to bring this to the left corner. Again, the throw is a little too early. Good idea though. Sane has been basically holding on to block. So technically the guess is correct. It's only the execution that needs to be there. That's basically the definition of fighting games. RPS with execution. Ooh, good FD. The FD has been super clean for Sane so far, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's been able to push Crisp like really far away, even make width from his own strings. Again, look at this. Yeah, pushes just far enough away that so that Crisp has to commit to something risky if he wants to get back into the close range pressure. There we go, finding a hit with a multi-hitting low. The 2S, one of the most beautiful buttons in the game, of its kind. Oh, we're not even checking what the opponent is gonna do. Close slash, baby. Definitely takes care of that. Was that an axe kick or the DP? Either or. Explodes out of the corner with the micro dash far slash, but again, the bane of Crisp's existence has been throw like a frame or two too early. Oh, surprised the J actually ended up whiffing here. There we go, the active, it's so active. It is so active. Like axe kick finds a hit, but without 50 meter or a counter hit, I believe. It's hard to convert into anything. Car crush. But instant air dash still got Crisp trying to dash out. Sorry, jump out. Ooh, good trade for Crisp. Able to push this into the right corner. The burst will become a problem here potentially. The option to counterplay it, drop it just before the burst is completely online and go for another combo opportunity. Perfect spacing, look at that perfect pixel close slash. Wow, what a champion. I couldn't play it better myself. I would be too anxious to just try to counter poke the incoming spiral arrow. Are seem to make sure that we can have plus frames after the, or rather we are still on the driver's seat after the off dog. Well, is successful. Oh, oh, the FRC. Able, wait. Yeah, I guess that works out because like, wait, no, huh? Did Sane manage to get into like 100 meter? Last time I checked, the meter was not quite 100 yet, but still was able to get like a super and a very delayed PRC out of there, or FRC rather. It's kind of great presence of mind. Great resource control. Alright, can we flip it back to... No, it's okay. Oh, check the command dash with the 2K. If there's something that Sane has been very good at, it's like making sure that like non-frame traps don't get a lot of value for a crisp. But look at that. The Giovanna special. Micro dash forward, let it rip for just a couple of frames, slide forward into those good old buttons. You get so much range for your standard pokes that way. Low slash into a low, finds the hit. Looking for a response, potentially from Sane. Look at the distance! The active frames! Giovanna is like one of the furthest reaching stubby characters I've ever had pleasure of experiencing in a fighting game. And again, look at that, slide straight into the active frames of Far Slash and the 3 hits. You miss one, you miss two, it's okay, we have a third one ready to go. And a perfect angle for the classic Street Fighter style neutral jump. Works in Guilty Gear as well, especially if you are reading something forward moving from your opponent. Such as like a lot of slide type of movement, or just a step dash, that works as well. The step dash forces you into like certain amount of active frames and recovery after all. Or I guess certain amount of recovery, I guess. There we go, the micro dash Far Slash has been working so well for Crisp. Ooh, still caught the button from that range. Sane extending himself into it. Oh, the frame trapper with an enhanced property. No way. Is that like 4 out of 4? It's such a shame as well, because like Giovanna is so big throw oriented that you can't exactly drop the throw from your game plan either. But then if you're having like a bad execution day and happen to go for those throws like just a little bit too early, yeah, what can you do? How do you adjust? RC, can we... No, just deems that that was a little bit too late into the active frames of, or rather into the startup of Sane's Far Slash, that was, I think. Guard Crush into, yeah, just a micro dash Far Slash. Can't exactly get a micro dash close slash or step dash close slash anymore from those kind of situations as Johnny. Nerfs hitting hard on that mobility. Ooh, rare footage of close slash, actually not anti-airing the air dash over. Sane working with a decent combo, drops it, it's okay. Cornering himself, but still finding a hit in the process. So we're A-okay. Going relatively even so far, just a little, small little lead.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
In the favor of Sane this time. Immediate burst from that counter hit. I'm not actually sure what you get from the new empowered up dog. But I assume it's a decent-ish rewards. Because like Giovanna players have been using that quite a bit. Oh, this time though the backdash ends up making the step dash 2K from Gio whiff. Well, players are heavily loaded on those resources. Breaks the wall with the soft one. 100, what are we gonna do? Super misses. No PRC. Oh, this could be a comeback opportunity. Slight mistake there on the routing, and now we have to contend with Johnny's 100. Nice with punish.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Yeah, the backdash makes sure that Sane is able to position himself in a safe distance where Gio's step dash can't really catch anymore. Even if you are minus 15. Definitely not minus here though after the turn up. Card, again, it's the same situation. The deal and then the card is still lingering in the air as Sane is trying to slice it. Which ends up leading into minus 15 instead of a guard crush. Check. Into a mate. Alright, momentum officially achieved here. Sane is up 2. Let's see if we can maintain that. A patient round start here, waiting for a couple of frames and then going for the bar slash. Oh my god, that's so relatable though. When you see the Giovanna player whiffing the far slash or like sort of see and then try to go for the whiff punish, then you just end up extending yourself into it unless you're pressing something like a 6P. But you don't necessarily want to commit to like a long recovery poke such as the 6P willy-nilly either, because, you know, the whiff punishing game of Giovanna is pretty good. And what else is pretty good is the position for Crisp now. Even though we ended up whiffing the throw, it's okay. We didn't get punished. And the life lead is overwhelming. Started with a minus 15 on the Must Finer. It's okay, we've been there before. We know how to play it. Oh. No mercy, doesn't let Crisp get any sort of slow shenanigans off. Nice hit confirm, still able to get in from that Kusadeka counter. A very late Mistfinder. Snipe from the air, jump slash, grounds the opponent. However, quick instant air dash out of the corner. Crisp is out for now. Controlling the space with that turn up. Sliding too close, can't really do much from the... Ooh, the 5 heavy works as an anti-air. Immediate burst from Sane. Oh, this would be big if we can prevent Sane from using that 100. On the other hand, if Sane gets to press a button on block, probably won't be able to wake up from that. Yep. Oh, never mind! Went into a Mistfinder instead of, whatchamacallit, Vault Deal. But then on the other hand, oh, did that punish? Did it actually punish? I'm not sure if that was a... Yeah, that was a punish, okay. That's one way to do it, just spiral arrow into the punish. I mean, might as well. Inputting, like buffering a special move is way easier than doing like a micro dash into buttons. Right, early burst here from Sane. Oh, and then step dash 2S. Finding fish. Finding a small one. Looking for a big one to finish it up. That's decently big. Except that the wall had too much damage mounted up already. Still, positive bonus yielding a little bit of extra meter. Getting to that 50 would be big. Finally does so. Oh my god, I swear! It's so active again! It's just like, talk, instead of saying like, talk to the hand, Gio's being like, talk to the leggy. The face, as well as the wolf, is not listening. Or maybe the wolf is. Oh, okay, using the threat of the card. This time able to slice it and trigger the turn up successfully. Back dash from the punish attempt. It's looking very Very good for Sane. 100 meter as well. I guess come to think of it, like Sane is kind of it's not part of. It feels like it's not a part of their active repertoire to use the Volt Deal RC. That a lot of other Johnny players love to skip neutral into or reset the pressure with. To the other side. Players trying to stay safe. Close slash activating even from that distance. Nadi. Now this time it's Sane's turn to go for a whatchamacallit, a premature throw. Trade definitely in favor of Crisp here. Look at that again. The optimal punish to Spiral Arrow. Position yourself so that you don't even have to extend yourself and try to whip, or that you don't have to like try to counter poke it. I guess that works for Johnny, who has a like a slash button that turns into a close slash from relatively far away. Like the proximity of Johnny's close slash is like scarily far away, I would say. Oh, the 6K working as a nice little anti-air. Classically made for that job. Oh, ooh, maybe a little bit too much. And Crisp able to launch this potential comeback attempt once again. But we've been here before. Sane with 100. Ooh, command dash into nothing. Not even a Twitch reaction there on the throw. Can send another one if we want. I think that, oh yeah, I was about to say just about anything on block, even a Mistfire, even a Joker trick might be enough to cause the chip death happen. There we go. This time we are a decent distance to not extend ourselves into it. I mean, Johnny's far slash has some disjoint as well. I forgot. Wait, yeah, Gio doesn't. Gio doesn't, right? But Johnny has, if I recall correctly. Ooh, look at that. Perfectly timed once again. Crouch under the jump slash and then punish on the landing. And then catch the feet. Ooh, it's Sane this time who punishes the landing though. 100 again. What can we do with that? Johnny definitely has ways to meter burn. But the opportunity is potentially burning away. Here comes the last sequence plus frames. Yup, even with the FD, it's too much. Can't challenge there. Would have to push a little bit further away than Crisp was working there. Late there on the counter poke attempt. Oh, nice catch. Not quite to confirm though. Very respectful back and forth kind of gameplay. Both players using their go-to favorite block strings that end in minus frames, and then of course at the end of those sequences the opponent has an opportunity to try to sort of advance on you and try to catch you. And then you're trying to RPS your way out. Speaking of RPSing your way out, Sane with the instant air dash. The whiff punish by Thin, not a counter hit though. Usually you're looking for the counter hit property if you poke with that button, preferably. I mean, I guess you in the modern patches. Oh, okay, too heavy. Just a little bit, little cutesy little too heavy there to take the round. And gonna unfortunately maybe lose a round or a game here. So looks like we are gonna get disconnected. Let's see if the players notice. I think there's a, oh dear me, getting yawn. I think there's a considerable what do you call that? Okay. We're good. there's like a considerable delay, like please wait from the server as well, which is a huge giveaway for the players that the spectators are going to inevitably drop from the game. Okay, from a 4-5 position, very even set once again. Have had a couple of those tonight. But Sane with a little advantage, going for potentially 2 more to take this. See what Crisp has to say about this. Yeah, again, Sane's just so confident, just sitting there at a perfect distance. If I wouldn't know better, I would say that Sane has maybe like spent time in training mode and lapped out what the perfect spacing to stand at is, if you're expecting a spiral arrow. And on the other hand, if you're okay not pushing the momentum, if you're okay just hanging around and maybe playing the waiting game, and you can make your opponent pull the trigger first, it's probably a very decent position to be in. Speaking of which, look at Sane's spacing here. Crisp is whipping a lot of normals, but you do have to have the follow through as well. Like, it's not enough to just make your opponent whiff. You gotta be ready to whiff punish as well, to press that button, whatever that best button is for the occasion. And of course, like, all whiff punishes don't come equal. Some of them are possible to have reaction punishes to. Some you just have to commit to instead. Again with the... Oh my god, the activist of the active leggy. Once again, switching sides. Instant air dash going under the spiral arrow. Sorry, over the spiral arrow. Snipe there. And this could be enough depending on how soon the wall break happens. Happens a little bit too soon. RC is available, so we can still be safe. And in fact, start the pressure. Mistfinder just barely whiffs. Ooh, once again, Sane has a very last moment burst here. Oh, and the whiff punish. Very nice. Good fundamentals back and forth. When you're playing a game like this where like both players are, you know, very active with the whiff punishing game and very good with the whiff punishing game as well, I think matches like that devolve into some of like my favorite kind of fighting game that could be. Because at that point you're just purely playing your opponent and not just doing your own game plan, not just running your own junk. It's a conversation. I think like in the purest form in fighting games, when you can make the opponent care about your options and they want to care about your options. Oh, wait, frame trap into Joker trick? Okay, we'll take those. Oh, speaking of the whiff punishes, utilizing the plus frames gained from the guard crushes to keep the momentum going. Hoping to disengage this time on the up dog. Oh, and a check there on the command dash. If you respect, you can get some massive amount of plus frames inflicted on you. But Sane has been very good at checking those. Once again, the bar slash reaches from downtown. Are we gonna dunk? To the other side, just a small little touch. Far slash is no good at anti-airing that. There we go, counter hit from the up dog. Nice! Gets in there before Sane gets to utilize that 100 meter. The burst guarantees that there is at least some amount of RPS to be done here. FRC into 5B. Cool stuff. Not even a 6B. Just believes in the fast start above that button. And the rewards that could be cashed in from that as well. 6B is a rather low reward kind of button compared to just about anything that you could use to take the opponent out of the sky. The very delayed Mistfinder, not finding its mark this time. But the spiral arrow is, oh, there we go, almost able to pick it up, not quite. I wanted to see that so bad. The tensionless combo that you might be able to get from the up dog. I'm gonna look really funny if you actually just can't get a combo from the up dog or rather for Giovanna. Controlling the space for a turn up with punish, however a little bit too far away and not ready to pull the trigger on the tension burnage. Of course, like just about any string of buttons could go into Joker trick. In worst case scenario, at least. Alright, setting up the guard crush again. Following it up with an instant air dash. Oh, nice whip punish. Yeah, if you can pick the time, I think it's especially on those far slashes. Because like Crisp really loves to use the bar slash, the most activist of the active button. Yeah, like that. But I think Sane's, you know, has been picking up on that for quite a while already. And again, the dance. Oh, how it evolves. How it unfolds. And now Sane, on set point, Crisp will have to play this perfectly. Alright, that's a very good start. No hit points lost on Giovanna's life bar yet. And working with the positive bonus. Finding a counter hit. Can double it up. RC into. This time, I think this time. You know, Crisp has been getting those accidental side switches quite a bit. But this time was kinda able to maintain the trajectory of the combo on the first two heavy. There's the burst. Last possible point for Sane. If he wants to steal this and end it early, it's gonna be tough. 100 meter. Does have a reversal super and then some. And saying a minus, and look at that, like a projectile torpedo from underwater strikes Crisp and brings it 6 points even. Last waltz of these two whiff punishing demons. Who's gonna do it better? Only this one matters. I mean, all of the games up until now have mattered as well, and in fact have contributed to this last showdown. So far, Crisp looking good. Can get the wall as well. There's lots of resources coming in here, even though you are kind of empty on the burst. It's okay. In Guilty Gear Strive, the burst will come back on its own, almost. As long as some interactions happen and the walls are broken, people will gain more meter and more burst. And dashes into that bar slash. Sane picking perfect moments to utilize it. What can we do with the 100 meter? Use burst first. Ooh, the backdash close slash anti-air as a big cash out. Tries to whiff punish the up dog whiff, not quite. Couple of frames too late. And Sane the first one to reach that set point position. It's not too far out of reach for Crisp either, but half of your life is gone. Only halfway through your burst gauge as well. The double forward dash, not as fast as it used to be, but still medium fast. Printing plus frames. Up dog finds its mark. Only a soft knockdown. We can still work with it. Busts out of the corner with the misfire. And what then? Micro dash into nothing. Oh, finds the hit! Not bursting. That's good. Crispy didn't panic, but we are in a danger zone. The delayed low misfire is the nail in the coffin. They've been playing back and forth this same kind of meta game. Working with the BMP string and then trying to delay the ender in order to catch the opponent. And the ender always slightly minus, so giving the turn basically to the opponent. In the end, in this nail biter of a set, Sane coming out as a winner, but Crisp not very far behind at all. Very good stuff. Now, we've reached the zenith of this evening. The last showdown will be between OLC and Zulck. We of course know OLC as that dedicated main player that we've seen over and over again presented on Bounty Hunters. Zulck here for the first time though on that, can we call Ramrithal rare based on, you know, the amount of recent Ram players? I guess Ram is still like one of the rarer characters, if you don't consider some of the like newer DLC characters like Lucy. I wonder if Lucy is actually gonna get any changes coming 2.0. Right, two characters that can do a lot of damage on successful hits. Ram a little bit more pressure oriented, always wants to push the opponent into the corner. Mei's a brawler. Mei just wants to get in there, get some strikes in. If you can start with the close slash, perfect. You're in your best element already.
Mankind knew that they cannot change. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Right, swinging a big 5 heavy, catching the backdash right off the get-go. I forgot how fast is Ram's 5 heavy. Be a little dangerous to go for an immediate one without the backwalk, although it's also hard to detect if the backwalk was used there. Ooh, the FRC found the hit. OLC ready to maul. Reset into plus frames using the beach ball. Plus frame. Oh, never mind. That was not blocked. That's just a straight up combo from the up dolphin. Brutal, yet surgical desertion of the opposing player's defense here. Ooh, but from the couple of throws that we have. Ooh, gold burst. Yeah. That's super good value. Get out of there. Get out of one of the worst situations you could ever be against Ramlethal. And get a positive bonus. And look at this OLC, so good at utilizing that meter that we have available. Uh-oh. But good dash out of the corner by Zulck. Makes sense because we have been playing those like up dolphins, against which moving forward is generally an option if especially if you're back against the corner. Mobility is extremely powerful against dolphins, especially of the upper kind. Yeah, and here's Ram gameplay. Tapping them with the 5K, the fast medium reach button. Mixing it up after the 5 heavies that were played. Ooh, nice backdash. And able to catch them with the rock as well. I think the rock is the rock still a successful combo starter this patch without a counter hit? He is minus on block, which is completely opposite of what it used to be. Oh, the shimmy there. Tried to reach for that throw and get out of the explosion radius. But now, without any swords available, uh-oh, OLC could bring this back. Tension is not available, so instead resetting once again to the beach ball. Good decision making. If you break the wall, I think you were done. Just barely breaking out of the corner, using that whatever the pasta move, special move is. 6B attempt, however, too much momentum, too much height. OLC breaks out of there, but instant air dash jump slash. Wow, big reach. One of the better horizontal reaching air buttons in the game. Unleashed there by Zulck. It's very, very reminiscent of like Milia jump slash, Sane jump heavy, Johnny jump heavy, buttons like that. And the great variety of air buttons also gives Ramlethal like a very balanced repertoire of options for playing neutral with. You don't necessarily have to play grounded. You can, and you are super good at ground, but you can take air as well if need be. Check there. Extremely minus after the S Dolphin, after which there's a little bit there's some unique able to block here. However, OLC did have the 100 meter available. Bailed themselves out from that situation. Ooh, try to go for a whiff punish. However, May 5 heavy. As much as it has an explosive power, it does lack in range. But you know what doesn't lack in range? Oh, okay, I guess counter hit 6 heavy. But that one, that was the real demon button for May is that one. On the screen right now, 5K. That button is illegal. Able to have decent amount of low crush. Working, I think, faster than S buttons generally. And still hit confirmable into stuff if you get a decent hit or have resources. Speaking of decent hits, that was probably one of them. So Zulck bursting out before the damage is too much. Working towards the corner. Take her to the office! And now it's time to go to work on that close slash counter hit kind. That should be it. Bam! Skip straight into Mortobato and wrap it up. We want to go home early tonight, says Zulck coming from the office. Lots of plus frames there if you allow May to rev up that 6 heavy. Can react to it if you're, you know, super vigilant, of course. Nice, diving out of the explosion. Zulck now. Oh, I love me some footsies. Especially in games that are so aggressive. Nice shimmy! Well, that was a shimmy on a sword toss. That's a very interesting response. That's on a Yomi layer that I'm not smart enough to understand just yet. But maybe we learn during this set. Plus frames once again. Beach ball. Allowing May to start that close range pressure. I'm in mid-range, I think usually. Up Dolphin is good, preventing the opponent jumping out of the corner and printing lots of plus frames. Is that a clean hit? No, not quite. That looked a little weird here, the sequence. But this hit should be enough. Don't even have to charge the 6 heavy. OLC taking the lead for now. It's been only 3 games so far, but it has been so back and forth already. I guess that tends to happen when you have two strong characters with distinctive advantages, distinctive feels that they really excel at. Oh, that's the 2 heavy anti-air. The additional button that you can press in on top of May 6B. Counter hit from your favorite button. And we have the 50 meter as well. Now guess for your life, Mortabato is a 9-framer, but I believe you can make safe jumps happen for Mei. Wow, the pace is so fast. OLC working with the FRC tech as well on a lot of those forward-moving special moves. Not just the split, but also the, I think 3K was FRC'd in the previous sequence there. Didn't have the sword, so it was just a little bit too tiny. Common problem, maybe, in this field of business, I don't know. Oh, that's, wait, what's that routing? Wait, what is that routing? OLC, my goodness. Take him to the corner, slow down frames, so a little bit too dangerous to act here if you are on the Mei side. Shimmies at the very last moment, hops over, the sword explosion takes care of the starter. Same again, ooh, dirty cross-up. There was still space to hop over OLC as they were crouching. My goodness. Ooh, clean 5P anti-air. Anti-airs like that can reach like really critical amount of damage. Goes for a soft bait here. Zulck is on the hunt for the burst. And of course, one of the best ways to complement your burst hunting activities is to play a lot of throws. Because once you lock on a throw, the damage is guaranteed and there's nothing to do done about it. Gold burst into the corner. Finish shimmy, if there ever was one, aka a neutral jump. I mean, I guess other nationalities do enjoy that as well. And I guess that's more on the Street Fighter side of things, I guess. Alright, 2-2.
Mankind knew that they... Duel 1.
I'm really scared when I see players doing the fuzzy throwing. In games like Guilty Gear Strive, where damage is so high and where you get put in counter hit state for missing a throw, I'm personally terrified trying to fuzzy throw the opponent when I see them moving forward. Waiting it out this time, as Zulck was trying to bait as well. FRC once again catching them with a low. S-dolping into down drift 2K, was that? Very interesting tech. Like that's the kind of tech that you don't. I don't think I've seen very often from Mei players. Like I think a lot of Mei players are just confident picking up from the FRC, going for like a jump P overhead maybe. Not opting to even try to go for a low. Ooh, good time to escape here. Zulck throws the first sword. One more available. Don't even have to use it this time around. Soft knockdown though, so OLC can definitely try to do something here. Double jump was matched by Zulck. The great air throw game. Ooh, good read here, or maybe even a reaction, who knows? Standing up for the overhead, but in the end, unfortunately not enough to escape the corner. You still have to commit. And either strike at the opponent or get a clean super jump air dash out. Those are some of the most common ways of escaping the prison known as the corner. Not necessarily as suffocating in Guilty Gear Strive compared to many other games, for the corner does break eventually, but does pose certain other kind of difficulties that you may know of. Once again, the 6 heavy unchecked, so good pressure starter, lots of plus frames. Brawler likey. And since Zulck no longer has their burst, might as well aggressively burst them in the back into the corner. However, Zulck able to fight their way out. Another FRC used here. Oh, okay, before any sort of RC shenanigans can come online. Sending the super, the split out of the corner. There we go. Yeah, if you're Mei, you don't necessarily have to go for an instant air dash or like a double jump. You can also send a dolphin and just split out of it. Or do that button, jump D, that keeps going and keeps going like a Duracell bunny. Not necessarily as much as maybe in the past. They've nerfed that tool quite a bit along the way. The staircase off to the ground that wastes a lot of time as well, giving Zulck's swords time to come back. If they were needed, not this time. Ready to break the throw again. Clean interception. That is so beautiful. And OLC choosing to hold the burst for the next round. Ooh, here's an air interception from OLC instead, and immediately followed up by a good 6B by Zulck. The counter air game definitely working out for both players. Ooh, that's an unfortunate miss. About a 6B, and then the 5P tap out of the sky. This will surely get us the wall, unless there's some sort of a troubleshooting to be done here. Another hop finds a hit. Those flip kicks are a little dangerous if you don't have the resources to spend for an RC, and if they're not covered by a Zord. There we go. Is it left? Is it right? I'm not sure. Looking like it would cross that. Same again. I don't know. I can't see. I can't see. Better just close my eyes. I'll probably guess better that way. Do not trust your eyes, kids. These characters are devious. And then a 2K check here. Making the game even once again. Looking like we have ourselves another nail biter so far.
Duel 1.
And it's really interesting back and forth between... Oh no, went for a 6P. Already queued up for the 6P, which just didn't have enough range there to whiff punish the button from May. In the corner. Oh, that was so dangerous. I was willing to bet money during the trajectory of the up dolphin that it actually hits and grounds Zulck. The one downside of these, like the left-rights that OLC is playing, I reckon that they are not the most damaging starters, but that's kind of why OLC tends to opt to play them when the round is almost over, when Zulck's life bar is like very, very low. Ooh, successful shimmy again. I think I saw a startup of the throw there. From the double jump. Landing into an uncontested position. Zulck doesn't get to do the same. Plus frames into strike throw. The flip kick. Preventing the opponent from getting a jump off. If you're throwing a sword from too far away, then like the priority number one is to try to make them stay still if possible. Sometimes it's not feasible, depending on the position. Wait, huh? Wait, is 2K legit there? I thought the up dolphin is just straight up plus a lot. Or is it just plus on any recover airborne? So therefore Zulck went under with that 2K? That's kind of nutty, if so. Positive bonus is gonna help this dry spell of Zulck's. And OLC is still quite far away from the burst. In fact, gets it back at the worst possible time when the wall has been already stuck. Wall stuck, help, please, move, we're dead. I love that option from OLC. One of the only options to escape that is to, like, other than just break the throw or tech the throw, is to go for the gold burst. Which is an option that is available if you're not currently in any sort of recovery. Like because the opponent is coming from below, and due to how like air throw hitboxes work, you can't really press buttons in that situation anymore. Give me plus frames, give me more plus frames from the 6 heavy, give me lots of damage, send in the big fish. And what now? To the other side? Dirty. Absolutely dirty stuff.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
The big successful round start for Zulck, but maybe not what they were hoping for, because you absolutely want to keep this corner position as much as possible on Ramlethal. Ooh, straight into the 5 heavy. Ouchies. Oh, interesting, slowing. Ah, the blue RC giving a little bit of an extended custom combo result. Trade, rather neutral. Preventing the opponent from taking the skies with the jump slash here. Oh, the air super! And Zulck was probably pressing something, I think it was a counter hit. Going under, and then over. But maybe slightly too deep into the jungle. Did that rhyme? No, that didn't work out. Damn. I give up my career as a rapper. Can't come up with perfect rhymes on the spot. I think you can pick up after this, right? This is pretty high. No, never mind. I think that was the idea. But again, some sort of a routing error that OLC clearly does not mind. Good read here. 6P preventing the Dolphin from coming in. Can we get an anti-air here? Trade. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect trades. These are the kind of trades that we're always looking for. And a full conversion, baby. Can we do it again? No, the opponent comes from below this time around. You do have the capability of presenting all sorts of different angles. You have the most standard like space control tools in the form of 5 heavy. You can try to play aggressive, engage, far slash, 2S somewhere in between. Then you have 3K, sliding under, and then you have the whole repertoire of May's air kits to work with. Ooh, nice escape there. As OLC was trying to be really tricky, Zulck was just like, oh, freak this. I'm out. And you're in, more importantly. Oh, I like that. Instead of committing to an anti-air that could have been baited, just opted to put on active frames on the landing. That requires a little bit of trust between the players. Nice whiff punish there. Walk back, swing a 5 heavy. If the opponent is trying to be preemptive, preemptive. And take the initiative, as we say in the industry. Now Zulck having the initiative here through the safe jump. Oh, and then the close slash. I love that so much. Just not opting to care about whatever is coming from above, because they know what comes up must come down eventually, and if the opponent respects too much, then they will fall straight into your button. And once again, Zulck takes the lead, not by much, not by a comfortable lead, but the closer we draw to those 7 points, the better it feels to be on the driver's seat. But better not succumb to the kind of thought process that says 1 more or 2 more. Because suddenly it can be 3 more or 4 more, or even the opponent might get a huge win streak. And just reverse the situation. Speaking of reversing things, out of the corner and into not quite a wall break. Oh, the shimmy. So beautiful. Works every single time when it does. I think that should be close enough to the corner where it's not very easy to escape that sword toss. Big commitment. OLC jump out, switch positions, and now it's a completely different kind of tune. The tune is... Oh, wait, what do dolphins say? They send like funny little sonar screams that I can't imitate. Like exactly. Look Zulck, the micro dash forward, calling out the up thing. That's exactly the kind of counterplay you need to have for that. Ooh, another throw! Counter hit on the jump D. I'm not sure if that was a misinput or if OLC meant to do that, but that was the right choice for the occasion. Sword toss though, working with the classics. Very important round here for both players. This could decide the destiny, as they said in H&K. And the Wind Shield Viper is actually not enough. And OLC so low on resources as well. No burst, only Wild Assault to work with. And it's, what's the button? I didn't even see what Zulck chose there, but it seemed like it was one of the low profiling buttons. Might have been 6P, might have been 2K. Either way, the point is, it worked. It was the right decision, and now Zulck, at the most decisive moment of the set, breaking away from the opponent. OLC has to win 3 times in a row. There we go, the micro dash under. If you have even a little bit of momentum, the up dolphin generally will skip behind you. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty aight. For that corners the opponent and gets you a lot of damage if you're ready to punish. Here comes the split. There's the 5P, a little bit too far away. Disengaging and then engaging. Gold burst. Oh no! Upon a whiff, gold burst. Very, very unsafe kind of maneuver. On block, it's A-okay. On whiff, not so much. Trying to box in the corner. We have one singular sword using the right tool for the occasion. There's a lot of decision making in like which sword you want to toss, which one you want to send, and which normals you want to keep extended. Oh, steals the corner. It ends up working out. Perfect. Zulck on a set point here. Is this how it's gonna go down? Zulck on their debut match. Looking to take a trophy out of Ulk. Pretty much forcing the plus first. I wonder, is the beach ball, can you set up the beach ball so that there is like no way of really challenging 6 heavy on a charge? Oh, I like that. Checks. Oh, and the gold burst. This is probably the best that we can get. Very low health. The reversal doesn't work out, but also not the decisive punish that we were looking for. It's okay. Keep it flowing, and eventually you're gonna find the hit. That's one. 2 more to go if you are an OLC fan. Definitely a good moment to take a breather and potentially reflect on what has been going on for the next, or rather for the last 11 rounds. Sorry, games. That's a counter hit of the close slash kind. Last time I checked, those were pretty damaging in Kill the Gear Strive. Down with the heavy sword. We still have the S1, I believe. Or the other way around. I always forget which one is the downwards one. He has to spend the RC here to the other side. Oh my goodness. Checkmate. Opportunity for Zulck once again. Sending a couple of 2S's, no doubt, as a stop sign to try to prevent OLC from dolphing it in on a win. From a double jump. Oh, the 6 speed keeps Zulck low enough. Punishes on the landing. Burst from OLC. Zulck, on the other hand, will be getting there soon. But is there soon? Is there gonna be soon? Is there gonna be need for that burst at all? OLC 50 meter goes into YRC. Can we get something going on? 6B gets the knockdown, and maybe blast frames from the beach ball. I'm not sure if the blast radius actually got Zulck there. Oh, perfect! 6B to the right direction. This could be it. The decisive shimmy that decided the destiny. And that's gonna be it. Zulck has done it. On their debut match on Bounty Hunters, makes it look clean. Both players with the shimmies. But Zulck with one that mattered the most. That's a good set. That's another... Like, OLC is very expressive player. I think like both of our May players had very expressive kind of decision making and very distinct kinds of play styles tonight. So really fun to watch for sure. Okay then, I guess we have reached the end of the show. Nicely at the tick of the clock as well. Let me actually check first. Do we have any raid targets before we say farewell to you, my friends? Gosh, I need to sleep more for the next Sunday's event. Today was a little difficult because I'm working with like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. All right, Guilty Gear Strive. Tell me your secrets. Who be streaming? Can I actually have the category? There we go. Thank you. Oh, we have one of the people that has appeared on Bounty Hunters before, but I still don't know how to pronounce their name. AYII. I'll send you guys over to that direction. But yeah, another fun week. If you want to play next week, do join the Discord where the sign-up forms are going to be posted, and we'll try to match you up with somebody really nice. Somebody who's around your skill level and you have a good connection to, hopefully. And with that said, we'll see you again next Sunday, 5 p.m. CET, as per usual, till the end of time, or at least until until we run out of players for these Strive sets. But yeah, it's been fun. See you next Sunday. Till then, stay safe and bye-bye.